Let's just start. So I am one of your co-hosts of Loud Mouf Stereo. I'm Greg, but Shad is usually the one that just reels us in. So just go ahead and just start us off.
What up? What up? It's Plur Gang. Gang, 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 gang. My name is Shan from She Gets It Pod. That is Greg, okay? You can find Greg also on Young Black and Bother podcast. You can find me on She Gets It podcast. You can hashtag She Gets It. Hashtag Who is Shan. I also have Cozy Womb podcast for parents out there who are struggling with their fetuses talking back. Other than that, we are here and we are here to deliver you what the fuck you need to hear. Welcome.
Welcome to all of you. Welcome to hell, because it's going to be a rough night. It's going to be a long show, but I can promise you are going to love it. Let me just also say happy Friday to everybody who was listening live on stereo, people who will probably listen later on when the podcast does come out. We have a lot to talk about tonight because we are specifically talking about the app that we are on. That's why the name of the show is It's You, Not Me, Stereo. Now, before we say anything else, let's just say if we do get cut off, it probably wasn't us, it was Stereo, because we're going to mention them a lot today. A lot. A shit ton. The show, we're going to break it into segments. So it's going to be the initial thoughts on Stereo, the likes and dislikes of Stereo, what Stereo has evolved into, and more importantly, we're going to try to wrap up with the competition and what we have to look forward to when it comes to these types of voice apps. Okay, so in saying that, do you have any initial thoughts?
The disclaimer. Okay, Stereo, folks, if you're listening, is not because we hate the app. We don't hate the app. We actually think the app is a great idea. We just think as content creators and other loyal users, you would like the app to get better with the updates, not what the fuck with the updates. That's all.
Exactly. She put it a whole lot nicer than I could. Now, mind you, I've had my drink already, like my sip, maybe like 3 or 4 sips, but I'm just start like this. When I open this app, I don't want to go to the leading person's talk. I want to hear some new people. I'm tired of hearing the same 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, including me. Okay, like, you know, sometimes like I get it. It's the popular people you want to hear. I don't want to hear Jeff Ross. I don't want to hear Adam Carolla. I don't want to hear people who already got money in their pocket and you're putting more money in their pocket in the leaderboard. I want to hear from the girl from Detroit or the guy from Chicago, and they actually have content. They have things that are fun and entertaining, and more importantly, I actually might like them. So, and saying that this is going to...
When you pull up the Stereo app and you open the app, why open it up in a conversation? You don't know where the person is going to be at pulling up the Stereo app. Open it up onto their profile page and allow them to be like, you know what, I would like to hear a talk. And then click on the talk button. When you open it and you're instantly in a conversation, it's just like, what the fuck? And then the icons aren't obvious to see and the placement of things don't make sense.
Exactly. Like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, people be on here when I first wake up and they're talking about fucking and dicks. Yeah. I'm like, yo, like my eggs are like still cooking right now. Some things just shouldn't exist. And I feel really bad that we have to do this show. I haven't heard anybody else mention it. Like, this is an in-app review of an app, pretty much. I get really irritated when I open this app and I hear bullshit. Like, imagine you turn on the radio and you hear that same Drake song that you just heard 20 minutes ago. Eventually, that shit gets tired, gets old. So imagine opening the app and you hear the same people over and over. It's like, I don't have an opportunity to hear other people. So the app could do better in the algorithms to give us new people. So let's just shout out the people who are in here now, Shane. Like, you can go from the top to the bottom just to like give people notice that we do see y'all and we hope to hear y'all stuff too.
I like to work my way up from the bottom to the top.
Well, that's what he said. That is definitely what he said.
Lelu, what's up? Zombie One, what's up? Keely, what's up? Xavion, what's good, my brother? Plugin. DJ Fly Guy, what's up? Jaden, Marsha, what's up? RLEPULE. I'm gonna spell it because I don't want to say it wrong. Maya the Great, what's up? Khalid, what's up? Derek with the C, that's new. Jackson 4, what's up? Pave M, don't know, but I see you. Callie Abrabra, what's up? Chris Morris, Mr. ASMR. I think I've seen him before. What up, Akeem? Raw the Truth. What's up?
Let's
Ricky,
go.
Carlene. I got Thoy. Delaney,
Yes,
what's up? BJ. Don't know how to say that. Zandy. Don't know how to say that. Saw that. We got a mic audio from Akeem. We gotta check that. Bailey Grimm.
Okay.
All right. So we appreciate y'all listening in. And also, if you're listening, please give us audio on what you think of the Stereo app so far. And if you notice any pros and cons about it, please tell us, because maybe you're experiencing something we haven't experienced. Sometimes I try to get on here and get into just introducing myself or saying hi to people that are having a good discussion about something or interesting topic. And sometimes I get into a topic and it's very just like, y'all don't got nothing to do. What y'all should have did and just call each other on y'all personal phone and have this conversation, because it's really about nothing. And to me, if you're going to be on here, talk about something that people can join in on. It's not just a conversation between two people in order to get some type of points on a board that you really aren't making content to be on. But that's just my thing. Let's listen to these audios.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, I think the same thing. Yeah, some of the stuff on her is really yeah, it's really yeah. What's up, y'all?
What's up?
I definitely agree. I'm new to this thing. I haven't even started yet, but it's kind of weird just hopping in on somebody's conversation. But I'm gonna get down on this thing sooner or later.
Absolutely, man.
Yes, Greg, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I got on her this morning and I heard them talking about some nasty stuff. I was like, these folks need to be. I just woke up. Why is y'all sirs? Is y'all sirs? But I know exactly what you're talking about, because I had that same experience. I was like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, man. Just like for me, like, I know we're gonna get into it, but before we start, let me just say that this isn't to like shade anybody, because if you're making money on the leaderboard, I appreciate the fact that you're doing it. However, I do feel a way when I see the same fucking people. When I say that, I'm talking about when you're on there 10, 15 times. Now, you ain't got that many friends because it's the same people every week, which is cool. No big deal. The issue for me starts when you know for a fact you're not talking about shit. I've literally heard people argue about the algorithm of Stereo, and they say, well, I'm not making any money, but I've been on here for 5 or 6 hours. Well, newsflash, you ain't talking about shit. You're not saying anything. So since you're not saying anything, they're not giving you any money. But there are a lot of people who have really engaging conversations, and I guess when it comes to Stereo, you have to share these things. You have to go and share them on your social media, on your Instagram stories, your Facebooks, your Twitters and stuff like that, because that's what Stereo sees. Everybody else sees the numbers. The people who are on here and they're trying to be either become popular or to get the money, they just want the numbers. They don't even give a fuck what they're talking about. I literally heard someone complain for 2 hours about wearing condoms. I was like, okay, like I didn't know that this was a thing, but sure, if that's what you want to do, cool. I'm gonna drink and listen to it for a little bit, but I've gotten to the point with this app where if I see the numbers are too high, I'm like, oh no, you're fucking up my money at this point. So I'm just not going to listen. It sounds really disrespectful, but it's the truth. It's the truth. Like, if I know you can't.
I don't mind seeing people with high numbers, because kudos to you. But what are you talking about? Exactly. And if what you're talking about doesn't make sense, like, Greg hit me up earlier this week telling me that somebody was on there meditating and making noise and not really even talking about anything. And my thing is, like, there are no real rules to what you can say and what you can't say on this, which is like a pro and a con. Because exactly, because it gives you a wide range of what you can do, but don't get on here talking about let me open one eye and see who's the following. Hey, like you can't do that.
Yeah. And engage with the people. Let the people come in. For the best feature for stereo, it's literally the voice notes. Being able to have people come into your conversations and have an opinion. Yeah. So, you know what? We have more voicemails. So we're going to get to these because we're not the types that wait 20 minutes and we gossiping about shit we saw in the shade room.
You gotta know when to pivot and listen to people because y'all be on a different topic and listening to voicemails that happen way past where y'all at. And then people get in here listening to like, why the fuck did they bring that up? Because we were talking about it and then we're not talking about it anymore. So seldomly check these things. So let's get in here.
Exactly.
Hello. Hi.
Hey, Frank Miller.
Hi, baby.
Hi, baby.
Hello, Jolie. Hi, Jolie. Happy Friday to you. Happy Friday to you.
So I know what you're talking about her, but look, okay, I was on there earlier and I got on. I was just scrolling through people talk, see what they were talking about and stuff like that. And some people talking about actual like real life situations and like things that people can like comment and like speak about. So I'm scrolling, and I get to these two people that was talking. It was a boy and a girl, and they was playing some game called Two Truths and a Lie. And I was like, y'all can get on, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can get on FaceTime and play that shit with some friends or something. Like, that's not, when you on this app, when you talk about things that are like appropriate, not inappropriate, you talking about this and that and other. No, y'all need to go to y'all, FaceTime or something. That's all I'm saying. Like, this app is not for inappropriate terms.
Yeah, like for me, like, and before you get to the next voicemail, basically with me, when it comes to it, like there's certain things you can talk about. I don't care if you talk about sex, you talk about shoes, but when you start diving into your personal life and it's like, wait, like strangers know more information than they need to. There was a girl who was on here talking about how she was sexually assaulted, and I was like, you're talking to someone you just met 9 minutes ago, and that's not. Some conversations are meant for FaceTime or for the phone. Stereo, that's what they have to get rid of. Like they have to just know when enough's enough. Yeah, therapy exists. Therapists exist. Don't take your personal traumas and put it on here so people can use that shit for later. That's why when we get on here, we kiki, we laugh, we talk our shit. We do have fun with you guys. We play games and all the other stuff, but you should know more about my personal life than the people that I'm actually friends with. So hopefully people just take that into account. But we got voicemails. Let's get to this next one.
Hello? How are you guys doing today? I hope you're doing well.
DNC.
We're doing
this
well.
Is actually like so awkward hearing myself on the live.
See? So she must be new. You must be new, Mick. Like, first, like, welcome to Stereo. More importantly, welcome to like our little Stereo talk, if you want to call it that. You get used to it. It's almost as if like you left a voicemail, but people actually check it. They say, you know what? I do have 9 voicemails. Let me check it. So you'll have fun. The more you do, the better. And you'll end up making friends. You want to add somebody from the comments. You'll have fun. I promise. What's the next voicemail?
Unlike my phone, I actually check these voicemails. I don't check my voicemail in real life.
Yo, what's going on, Miss Chan? What's up, Mr. Craig? How y'all doing tonight? I just followed y'all too. I seen what y'all talking about.
Appreciate it.
How y'all doing?
I'm doing good.
We're doing very well. We are about to kind of go in on, not on Stereo, but just like our critiques of things that could improve for the user base. Because we don't want this app to go and die out in like 2 months. And we're sitting here like, why? It's because you gave up all your money, and then when you stop giving people money, it's going to be like, well, don't nobody want to be on it no more. Like, I'll get to that, and when we get to the likes and dislikes, I'm going to go in. But let's get the next voicemail.
Thank you, baby. Happy Friday. We're getting down and rowdy.
Shout out to you, sweetie.
Yeah, it ain't gonna lie. It is kind of awkward. It's kind of awkward seeing your sir, hearing your sir.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Shan, let's just get into it because people are here for a reason, and we got to give it to them. So, what were your initial thoughts on Stereo?
I thought it was interesting. You brought it to me first, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. I downloaded it. I looked at it. It was very simple and straightforward. Then I was checking out the discussions. And discussions, at that time they weren't making you allowing you to change the topics. You had to pick the topics that they were giving you. So we did like a couple of open talks, and then you were able to download the MP3 onto your phone and then use it on our podcast. And that's what we started doing. Now you can't do that anymore. You have to email it to yourself or send yourself a link. That is just very like time consuming. I think the whole idea should be that it should be on the go. What I did like is that I could talk to somebody in London and figure out like what's going on, with, this whole pandemic and what's going on over there. I found that to be interesting. But at the same time, there were cons like when you're in a conversation and you instantly get booted out and they don't tell you that, hey, we had a glitch. We've been booting out people all week. It's just something you have to find out while you're with the app. And then when we go to record and then do the edit, it's like the sound is like choppy, and there's points where I completely miss what I said or I completely miss what you said because the recording just like times out on stereo side. And my thing is like, let it be clear. Like when we first come in, it's almost like we have to delay speaking and then speak in order to catch it. And certain things like that needs to be either fixed or say, hey, once you get in, then push record, and then you'll know that everything you say after you push record will be on the recording. So you just know you're getting all of that feedback and you can actually use it. Because one thing I hate is like having a good discussion, missing key parts in that discussion, and then having to hope that people could piece it together. Like if we're recording it and we're taking the time, allow us to have everything that we recorded.
Exactly. For me, it's a lot of the same. My initial thoughts on this app were it felt like we were joining something that would grow into being better and more cohesive than Twitter. Like being able to have a conversation with one person and not have to worry about the outside. And even if there were outsiders with the voice notes, you knew they came correct, or you could just literally stop that shit. There was no, oh my God, we're going to have like retweets and shadiness and stuff like that. This app has trolls, which I don't mind. I'm cool with the troll shit. I'm okay with like, a racist here and they're coming in there and then you can just block them and just move on with your day. That's fun to me. Like, actually, I feel like that's the one thing that the app got right. And for us to be podcasters, this was a way to interact with the audience. We don't get that with our normal shows. Being able to open an app, say, you know what, I want to talk to my friend, or I want to talk to somebody new. I want to get a different perspective. Even if you're talking to someone else, you can go and say, you know what, that third party, like Xavier, like he can chime in and say, you know what, I actually fact checked this for you live while you were talking, and this is actually what happened, not the way that you displayed it. That right there made this like a concerted effort of a good app. That was my initial thoughts. And that was a month ago. Ever since then, it felt like the app, like they use us as currency. You know how the saying goes, it's like, if it's free, like you aren't the customer, you're the product. And it feels like that a little bit. My issue though is I knew this, but the incentive is money. But the thing is, you're giving the money to people who visibly know that they already have money. Like I can see people that I readily identify with, Adam Carolla, Jeff Frost and them. I'm not saying their names to be shady. I just know for a fact I've heard those names. And this is like if Mike Tyson joined here, you're like, wait, Mike Tyson doesn't need this money. Mike Tyson shouldn't be on a leaderboard. Like
Mike Tyson on his own show that I don't need money.
Exactly. Like for a fact they were who they were before they jumped on here. So this app was supposed to be that platform that people, if you caught on early, like you could become something like Soldier Boy with MySpace and stuff like that, and YouTube. It's like, this is your platform. If you were never a podcaster, or honestly, you might be like me, you might be an introvert, but you like to talk. Stereo was that app for you. And I don't want them to cave in because they just feel like, okay, if we keep getting all these celebrities in here, like, it's going to be great. But they're not telling the celebrities, hey, like, give other people a chance. Like, you being on the leaderboard, like, talk to somebody else. I shouldn't see what's the guy's name? Dr. Doom, Dr. Love. What the fuck is his name? He was on Oprah, Dr. Love, whoever he is. Him and Adam Carolla should not have conversations with each other and not even interact with anybody else. It's like, you can pull somebody else in, get their perspective on things, especially in the climate that we're in right now. It would help. It would make sure that, they, as people who are personalities outside of this app, are in tune with the community. It just feels like they get on here, they talk for an hour and a half, they know for a fact they get their $1,000 and they the fuck up out of here. I'm like, yo, like, it feels like I went to a concert to just like listen to them talk and then they just bounce. I don't want that. And nobody else wants that. So
I like how that app is Clubhouse that you described to me. Kind of like how that is. My thing is, like, if they're going to have celebrities on here, cool. Like, you have to have different levels of, your app. You can have a Stereo Pro version.
Exactly.
Where you go on there and you pay X amount of dollars to be in the discussions of celebrities. I don't think everybody that's using the Stereo app wants to come here and hear celebrities talk about their celebrity ass, rich ass problems, because those are really not problems for people like you and I.
Exactly. And it's the truth. But, we don't want to keep holding these guys into these voicemails. We're going to keep playing them. So here we go.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to die because, first of all, I just found out about the app, like, okay, when I got on that first day, fuck, I keep stuttering. When I got on that first day with y'all, that was my first time, like, ever on the app. So by me finding y'all podcast podcast show or whatever, it like made me want to stay on the app because I had a lot of fun that night. So thank you guys. Thanks a lot.
Absolutely, Xavier. Like, and that's the thing. Like, yeah, exactly. Shout out to the Plur Gang. Like, when it comes to it, like, when you have that person, like, when Xavier said he came onto our like show and we interacted with him and he was like, you know what, I want to come to all the next shows, or I want to engage with you guys because you're engaging. That builds a community. So then you end up seeing those numbers and people start coming to your shows a little bit more. And more importantly, they chime in like he has. And you can see it. It's like a genuine love. And you might not ever know that person. You may never meet the person that's in your chats all the time. But if this app closes, you're like, hey, I already followed them on Twitter. I followed them on social media. So it becomes like a pin pal. It's how social networking is supposed to work. I want the best for this app. So let's just get to the next voicemails because we got a lot to talk about.
I fucks with Stereo. They let me get on and say shit. Talk to me. It's a Schwan, baby. Number one adult entertainer on the Stereo and all platforms. You're...
Shout out to Szechuan. Now, he has to explain to us. He said he is the number one adult entertainer. So I need to hear a story, man. Like, what have you talked about on here? What was the best experience you've had so far since being on the Stereo app? A lot of people, I hear them, have their own individual one-on-one conversations, but what was your best moment? Like, when you went on another person's like live, if you had your own, and you're like, you know what? Like, I learned something. Or more importantly, I actually gained a follower that, you know what? I actually fuck with that person. So let us know. But what's that next voicemail?
I personally love Stereo. It's like, I get tired of talking to my real friends sometime. And, I just love making new ones. So it's a great platform to, even if you're trying to start a podcast, especially.
Facts. Blazing facts.
At first, I actually was playing game, and then I saw it, and so I just decided to download it because it seemed cool. And yeah, it really is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey guys, I am definitely new here. A friend of mine brought this app to my attention. I was looking for something to start a podcast with, and she had pointed this out to me. So I was just wondering if you guys had any advice for someone who is just getting started here.
Absolutely.
Our advice, well, both of us, we have separate podcasts initially before we came on here. And then coming on here, if you already have a show, it makes it easier because you just know how to engage in a show. But if you're starting out with a show, I think just talk to more people and have kind of like a lineup of what you want to talk about initially, because it makes the flow easier. And then just, agree with someone to talk on here about whatever topic and just be more consistent about it. And I think with followers, they'll follow you and they'll keep tabs on when you're having a show, and you just promote it on like your IG. You could promote it on your Twitter, and then that's how you'll go ahead and create the followers and listeners.
Yeah, I'm going to like piggyback off that. Like, this is the time to like start your own podcast. This is your time to actually just get your voice out, especially in 2020. Like, there's nothing else to do. Most people are in the house. A lot of people aren't working, and they give you a free app, a free platform to say what you want. And basically just you possibly can make money off of it. We did a show actually a couple of days ago about podcasting and like the efforts it takes. There's not much anymore. They've literally made this for podcasters, pretty much specifically for them. The only thing that, I want them to do, I'll get into it later in our like criticisms of it, is I just want more people to be able to talk one-on-one. So you can have the one-on-one talks, but you can also have a group. So say, for example, if Xavier, he has like an expertise in the conversation, we can just tap him in, and then it goes from 2 people to 3 people. So it gives you like a round table room where it's like, okay, yeah, we can still have those outside comments and conversations, but this person, we added him into it. So now it becomes an actual discussion. And I feel like Stereo's going that way. I just hope that they don't box themselves in to just think that podcasters and people who talk just only talk to themselves and their best friend. Like, adding that third portion of it, it can take a conversation between 2 men and adding a woman element in it and completely blowing up that conversation, making it better than what it could have been, and giving the men insight on things that they shouldn't be speaking on as men, talking about women or something like that. So it's very important. But what's the next voicemail?
Literally been on here for half an hour and been hearing all the celebrities, and I thought, it's one of those apps again, and then just flicked onto you. Started studying the app. I go with the other guy. He said, yeah, coming onto the show and listening to your show and coming onto the app. You're right, what you're going on with, people like you encourage people like us to stay on this app. Blessings to you.
Absolutely.
From London.
Absolutely. Shout out to London, man. Like, yeah, like shout out. What is that, AJ? Like, shout out to you, my friend. What's this next voicemail we got?
Is Blazer and Nair. I like that's another reason why I like this art too, because once I found out about it, what you can do on the app, I actually want to try to start my own podcast show with somebody, because I'm not very good at speaking and I stutter a lot. So I was gonna try to use this app to get my my speaking better and things like that. So yeah.
Do what you need to do.
Yeah, Xavier, honestly, you have a podcast personality. Like, a lot of people think like you have to have like this sports editor, like ESPN voice in order to like get shit started. A lot of people who listen to podcasts don't listen to the top podcasts. They don't listen to the Adam Carollas and the Joe Rogans. They start, yeah. Yeah, like for me, I've listened to them, but you start listening to those high value podcasts that are just like popular, and you're like, you know what? I want somebody who thinks like me. I want somebody who talks like me. And you end up finding like our show or other people's shows, like, shout out to like The Read and, BTG for President, and forget that there are a lot of shows out here that you can listen to and you can relate to, and then it becomes a snowball effect. You hear their show and they mention another show, and then that show mentions another show. Next thing you know, you go from actually talking to your friends and having your own ideals about things, and then gaining a completely different perspective because of podcasting. Like, for me, podcasting replaced XM radio. It replaced my car radio. When I get in my car now, my phone knows, like, I don't want to hear FM radio. I don't want to hear like Drake. I do listen to music, but there's a time for music now. I can go and get a perspective on the way to the barbershop, on the way to the dentist. I can go out of town on a 7-hour trip and listen to other people talk, and I don't have to respond. That's the beauty of podcasting. You can say, you know what? I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna hear somebody else's opinion on politics, the White House, sports, news, anything like that. And you be like, I didn't even think about it that way. I didn't know this is why, LeBron does the things he does, or this is the reason why, like with Cozy Womb and, where she gets it. If you want a woman's perspective, you can go and have a show and listen to it, and not only be like in the know, but you'll learn things about people that will literally change your life. I've had white friends who listened to our show and was like, "Oh, I didn't think that." I'm like, "Yeah, you didn't, because you didn't know any better." Like, CNN's not going to tell you how black people think. Just like you can't go to BET and think how white people think, even though white people own BET. Different story for another day. However, with Stereo just tying it all in, with Stereo just tying it all in, it's like this is like the perfect place for people to start a podcast. More importantly, build a bond and a connection with people who will listen to your podcast or even encourage you to start your own. And man, but hold on, we got more voicemails. Go ahead and hit them.
Before I hit this, one thing that I wish would evolve to do is allow people to make a choice on if they want to go ahead and go live with a friend or someone they're following or a guest, or do they want to go live with the audience and just have that discussion back and forth with people who are chiming in through listening to them, because I feel like that will help new people that are new to podcasting or new to the app get to engage with completely different strangers just chiming in on what they're talking about. It just gives it another layer of what this app can be. So hopefully they look into that. But let me hit this thing right here.
Hey, yo, I 100% agree with what y'all said about the celebrities not being able to get money or have money. Like, I'm new to that. This might be my second week. When I first got on this live, I know y'all was talking about, I guess people having limits. I will say this. Sometimes when you're like on a new app or even like on Twitter and things, sometimes when people start talking, they get personal. And like once you start, like for some reason, a lot of people get comfortable speaking with people, and then they start talking about their personal life, blase, blase. I mean, I'm the same way. I think there should be certain restrictions, though.
Absolutely. I think he had another voicemail, though.
Yeah, and people go into their personal aspects for things because it's kind of like a safety net. Like, nobody can tell you you're wrong because this is your experience. But sometimes, shit, if it's our show, maybe you need to have your our show after lunch, after 5 o'clock, not at 7 a.m. in the morning when I'm like driving to work and I got my kids in the back seat, or I'm trying to brush my teeth or wash my face. Because the reality is you're going to lose having, maybe that's a great conversation that you're having about those dicks and those fat asses that really, get you going. But you're having it at fucking 9 a.m. Yeah. People that actually probably got the ding-a-lang last night or actually got the draws last night are not even up. They probably hung over and they're not trying to listen. So if you want to engage and get the most listens, have that discussion at the hours that they are up.
Exactly. Bingo. Oh boy, just wait till we get to these.
I think there should be like an individual, because if this is like kind of like a way to get podcasts, there should be like a individual chat where you might just be the only host, and then people can kind of, call in or leave messages.
Like
I don't
a radio.
think it should just be limited to 2 people. It should be limited to like 1 person at least.
Yeah, I agree.
They are actually adding people. There's like 3 people on a link right now. I think she logged on from her computer. But there's 2 people talking, side by side, and then it appears that she's talking through her computer. There's a 3rd person talking through their computer directly to the 2 that are talking. And I'm addressing what you specifically stated, just a few moments ago, addressing that.
Hey, that sounds like a 3-way phone call. But, my thing is like, how would they do it? Well, how would they do it if it's 3 people on there or 4 people? I feel like it should be like this rotating circle on the screen, and then whoever's talking will come in the main space, kind of like where your face is or my face is.
Exactly. And that, I agree. But what's the next voicemail?
I know with my show, I definitely wanted to have my topic based on things people are too afraid to talk about, mental health issues, body shaming, the differences between men and women in the workplace, things of things of that nature. So I definitely appreciate you guys' advice to me on that, and I hope to see you in a show soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shout out to the homeboy talking about he got a stutter or bad speaking voice. Hey man, look, I appreciate what you just said, and I hope that you do continue, and I hope that you figure it out, because I'm proud of you, man. I don't even know you, and I'm proud of you.
See there?
Absolutely, man.
I definitely, when I was in college, it was mandatory that we had to take a speech class. And there were so many people who needed to get out of like bad habits of what they would do when they would speak in order for them to be comfortable. And that class was so hard because you would have to be patient to what somebody has to come out of in order to get better speaking. So it's cool. The reason why I started She Gets It podcast was because I hated to hear my voice. I hated hearing my voice. So it's cool.
No, I don't watch the I forgot what you just said, but like the higher podcasts, some things like that, the most famous, I guess I want to say, podcasts. I never listened to podcasts at all because I never really knew about podcasts. That's another thing about podcasts. They're not really, I want to say they're not really I'm sorry, they're not really spread like. They're not really known in the areas I've lived. They're not really known. I never really knew about podcasts and things like that. So that's actually another reason why I came to Stereo, because I don't listen to podcasts, and I think podcasts are cool. I have had a project or two in school to do a podcast and things like that, but that was like when I first learned about podcasts. Before that, I didn't know anything about a podcast. So that's like, I would like to like start a podcast. I think it's cool.
You should.
The rule of thumb is this: start today. Everybody who tells you that they want to start a podcast, it's a rotating cycle. They're like, man, if I only knew how to start one, if I could start one. All you need honest days is the voice memo app and Anchor. You can literally just talk your thoughts, get your thoughts out. Like, there are a lot of people who have been writing diaries and journals. Like, you can honestly keep your first like 5 to 10 episodes to yourself until you get comfortable. And then you start sharing it. You say, you know what? I'm comfortable with sharing this. Let me go ahead and release this. You don't need 1,000 listeners for your first listen. You don't need 1 million listeners. If you can just tell your friends, you know what? I'm getting my thoughts out. I can guarantee that could be self-therapy. You can say, you know what? Damn, like, this is what I was thinking this week. This is how my week went. Boom, you have a podcast episode. There have been podcasts that Shannon and I have both done. We're like, you know what? I just want to talk about how the week went. I want to talk about how my kid is. You know, I want to talk about, you know, honestly, the fact that like we just had a bad day, and that can literally go from being a 5-minute show or 10-minute show. Don't let anybody tell you have to have a certain limit in time for your podcast. Oh, it has to be 45 minutes or it can't be more than an hour. Like, the podcast is what you want it to be. And Stereo alone will give you the perfect opportunity to make connections and, more importantly, get ideas from other people. Go listen to some other stereos. You'll be like, you know what? I never thought about it like that. I never thought like stereo could be for a podcaster. You know, I heard Shannon Gregg talk about it. I want to talk about that and how my experience on stereo was. And it will give you so much insight and more creative vision for your own stuff.
I do get talking. See, I'm stuttering again. I do get tired of talking to my friends only because they like to play a lot, and I'm very different from my friends. I'm nothing like none of my friends. They're all like the same. They like do the same thing, stuff like that. No, I'm like basically the black sheep, and I don't like doing the things they do. I'm the calm one. I like people who, I like them. They're my friends, but the things they do, I don't like kind of associate with. So I would like to talk to somebody other than my friends on this podcast. So I wouldn't start a podcast on stereo with one of my friends, only because like they really can't take me serious and they can't relate to like things that have real conversations. So yeah.
Well, you know, this is the perfect platform. You talk to somebody on here, or obviously you can talk to us. You know us at this point now. So if you're like, hey, you know, Shan, Greg, I want to talk about this. Like, how do you feel about it? You can obviously hit us up. And if you wanted to, you can, you know, we jump on your show, you jump on our show. Like, that's how podcasting and networking is supposed to work. Social media don't work like that no more. That kind of died out in like 2014. But, you know, there's always an avenue for things. What's that next voicemail?
Hi.
Hello,
Hi.
Adam. How are you?
I definitely think the biggest issue with podcasts and people that are trying to start them is like the overthinking the process. Like even myself sitting here trying to decide like how I would start a show or how I would, bring attention to myself, whether it be like posting on social media or having my friends share the fact that I have a show at a certain time on a certain day. Like I definitely think the overthinking process is what psychs a lot of people out about doing this and doing it like wholeheartedly.
Yeah. I mentioned. Oh, go ahead, Shan.
The best thing is to just explore free platforms first that'll allow you to do a podcast, figure out what shows you actually like listening to already to see how you possibly would want to format your podcast, and just know why you're doing the podcast in the first place. I feel like a lot of people start a podcast and they don't even know why they're doing a podcast in the first place. And the worst thing you do is start a podcast with somebody that doesn't really want to do a podcast, and then they fall off and it ends up being your podcast, and then you end up wondering like what you're gonna call it, and then you wonder like who's going to do a logo, and sometimes your logos when you start are going to be shitty, sometimes they're going to be really great. For me, for my logos for my shows, I'm always changing them because I'll be in like different moods. This is not how I'm feeling. Maybe this whole season I want to focus on this topic. Maybe this whole season I want to focus on that. This is what look I want to give. And you'll find like your niche. You'll find where you need to be. You'll figure out what you want to talk about. And the whole timing thing that you were talking about, like when are you going to post? You can set up a time and a day on when you want that episode to drop. A lot of people have an assumption that you have to do podcasts every day on the day that you're going to drop. No, you can schedule them shits out. And then you can have like a whole fucking week to yourself where you're not doing absolutely nothing regarding podcasts, and you can continuously be working on the next thing. You don't have to live, breathe, die your podcast. Don't even bother yourself like.
And more importantly, like when it comes to stereo, that's why I'm like, shout out to the listener before who had mentioned just having an.
Get you some merch. Act like you know. Get you some merch. Shop She Gets It on Teespring. The link is in the bio. Don't act like I ain't tell you. Hit me up on the Stereo app. Hit me up on Patreon. Hit me up on Red Circle. If you want to go ahead and cross promo, I'm here for you. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up and my email, shegetsitpod@gmail.com. Hit me up on shegetsitpod on IG. I'm not hard to find. Let's get back into this show.
Individual like show that would encourage a lot of people who honestly they may not have a lot of friends, or they might not want to jump on with other people. They just want to get their own thoughts out there. Having the ability to just go on live by yourself. What if you're a singer? What if you're a poet and you don't do crowds? You want an audience and you want to perform, but it's just you. Giving the people the ability to do that on stereo would give a lot of extra content. We stop focusing on the leaderboard. At that point, it goes from just being the leaderboard to actually coming on here for the content. And then it kind of overtakes Twitter, because it's like, I wanted to hear that person's like drawn out thoughts about, policy and sports and entertainment, stuff like that. I wanted that. I don't want 160 characters to box them in and they don't get their fully fleshed thoughts out. So hopefully stereo, they listen to this. I'm sure they probably are listening to this. More importantly, like you guys that are listening now, you should be able to reach out to them either in their comments or on like social media and say, hey, this is what I want. And if enough people tell them that's what they want, they have to do it. Because if they don't, I'm telling you this, there's going to be another app that does it and they do it better. Right now, stereo is fighting that fight where it's like, we're relevant for now, but where will we be in 3 months? That's why they have like content creators like ourselves who we critique them, but we also use them. We want the best for the app, but we don't want the demise of the app. That's why this episode exists. Wow. Even more voicemails. You want
like Snapchat, but in a audio way. Snapchat was big for when you wanted to talk or have discussions or send pictures or video that will disappear.
Nudes.
This you sort of like you talk, the conversation is there, you can check back, you can post it, you can use it, and it's just kind of like a catalog of what you're about. The whole thing with podcasting for me is just getting shit off your chest so you're not walking around wondering about it. And that shit right there.
Yeah.
Great. Like, what the hell was that? That's a perfect example of what the hell was that? So that was a complete interception of just noise, and I could not hear what Greg was saying. It's kind of like they don't test the app before they give it to people to use. And so it has its kinks. And the con for a stereo would be other apps are looking at that shit and they're just like, okay, they suck at this. They don't do this right. Exactly. So this is what we're going to do better. And my whole thing is like, get the feedback from the people who use your app the most for the content reasons, because the people that are just using your app to get money and leave your app, they're not going to tell you what you can do better. It's sort of like your customer. You ask your customer to review their service. This is the review of their service.
Exactly. And I wish more people would have actually done the same thing that we're doing right now. Because think about it, this is the one platform a lot of people are on all fucking day. And that's not to be disrespectful, but I've heard a lot of people say they've fallen asleep on here because they wanted to get their numbers up. But you know, even though we're content creators, like we don't at this point, I don't want to say we care about the numbers. We actually care about the content. Stereo needs to care about the content. When they go through the leaderboard, they should listen to it. And like, great. Like they had 100, 70, 80, 90, like, people who came in at the same time. But how long were they here? Like, were they in for a minute and then they dipped out and they came back in, they dipped out? More importantly, are they engaging with it? Are they sharing it? Are they being able to, like, you know what? I learned something from that and I'm sharing it. But it seems like the leaderboard is it's kind of really fucked up. I look at it every day and I'm like, it's really discouraging for somebody who just started this week. And they're like, well, I started to talk to someone. I talked to them for 4 or 5 minutes and we didn't have a connection. So I just went on to the next thing. So you might have your friend join in and you and your friend have a conversation that you would normally have on the phone. And, not saying you're oversharing or not, but it's like, if you're in like the 1,000th place, like nobody can hear that because they're not highlighting you. As soon as you open the app, you're just like thrown into, well, this is what's popular and you're not them. It's like, it's not encouraging me to continuously open this app. I'll just go back to Twitter because at least in Twitter, I can go see the trending tweets, but it doesn't make me feel like I'm lesser than the people who are on this app or that were on here before me. That's what Stereo needs to fix, like in a major way, because it turns people off. Like us is different. We're established podcasters. We like to talk and we can get on here and just know for a fact that, hey, we talk, we get our episodes out, we, engage with the audience, they talk to us, they leave comments, and then we get up off here. But then there are people who, like I said before, they're on here for 5, 6, 7 hours and they're hoping that they can get, 40, 50, 60 listeners all at once. But it's hard to do that when you have 3 or 4 followers and the big name people, they won't even drop in on your shit. They don't care. They're like, hey, like when Soulja Boy was on here and was like, hey, I'm on here, I'm gonna talk. He was actually on a live with a dude, and this isn't a knock to Soulja Boy, but he was on a live with this regular guy, and the guy, he was excited to talk to Soulja Boy. He was like, hey, I've been a fan of yours for years, blah 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 blah. And Soulja Boy treated him like a groupie. He was like, hey, yeah, man. So what were you saying again? I didn't hear you. I'm like, wait, so are you already getting a check and you just don't care? Like you are what the platform doesn't need.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really fucked up. We have a lot of voicemails. Let's go into them before we get into
I think this is a perfect time for this to go out just because, like, there's so many perspectives on things right now that's going on. And, like, communication is, like, a really good thing right now to, like, kind of simmer down people's emotions. So hopefully, like, this stays the way it is instead of, like, how Instagram and Facebook turned out to be.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Nicolette.
Hello.
Hello, Adam.
I'm really good. How about you?
D&D.
Hey, yo, hello.
Hey, yo.
Hello.
How are you doing, Adney?
Hello.
I just wanted to thank, I think his name was B Honors. I think that's his name, but thank you for that. And I just want to let you guys know, give y'all some feedback on like y'all conversations, things like that. I just want to let y'all know y'all, when y'all talk, y'all like very inspirational. So I just want y'all to like, don't stop. So yeah, don't stop.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it, man. Like,
So right now I'm kind of acting. I mean,
what?
Okay.
Sorry. Well, I'm kind of like asking for advice. So like, I'm trying to start a YouTube channel, like kind of like a gaming one. Not really a gaming, but like, you know, games like Roblox and Minecraft. Like, what do you guys recommend?
I guess I can talk about this. So when it comes to gaming and everything like that, when it comes to it, like I wouldn't personally start on YouTube. The reason why is because you can't monetize from it, and you don't want to give a product. Like you don't want to give your product to another product and then do it for free. Like there are a lot of podcasters and as well as like YouTube, like celebrities that are on YouTube. Like I'm trying to think of like some like MKBHD, and you have like iJustine. You have a lot of people who are already established. They have millions of followers, but they've also had followers since 2008. YouTube has changed their platform so much now that a lot of your fame, like the people that play gaming and stuff like that, they don't do YouTube anymore. I would advise Discord or Twitch. The reason why is not only can you monetize on your own platform, but you can play with your peers. YouTube is more so it's like, how can we make money from you doing what you were normally doing? And then we may or may not, if you become famous, give you money. You know, at the end of the day, what is your value now and what do you want your value to be in 10 years? YouTube is not going to give you your value now or in 10 years because to be truthfully, like honest with you, YouTube only has about 3 or 4 years left because there's so many other ways to get content. Like remember when Quibi was out during the summer and everybody's like, oh, well, Quibi's like the next thing. Like you can just watch videos for free and it's quick and stuff like that. The issue with Quibi was they didn't promote themselves. And more importantly, like you had TikTok. People want things instant. They want things quick. But for gamers, like for you, you have an audience already that's built into like social networking and social media. So you have the avenue like Twitch. You can pay the extra, I think it's like $7.99 or $9.99 and literally put the content out yourself and make money. Like there are 8-year-olds I know that make money off of that. And they probably make more than their parents. Like I could not lie about that shit. There was a guy that, what's that game? Fortnite. I think he was either like 8 or 9 years old. He's making $110,000 a year gaming. His parents don't even make. I think he lives in like Wisconsin or something like that. Just know for a fact a 9-year-old is making $110,000, and his parents work at probably like a steel mill or something like that.
I feel on my inside.
Yo, like right now, like the pandemic has taught me one thing, and it's I can make money being who I am. And I can get content out for being who I am and be completely happy. And a lot of people right now need to take what what's happening in 2020 and the free time that we get to establish yourself, make you your business, because there are a lot of people who are younger than us. I think, I'm 33, like Shan, I think you what, like you're 21 or something, you're young, but either, but
like feels like 21.
Yeah, but think about it, like there are kids and teenagers that are younger than us, and they won't have to go to college. They won't have to go into debt. They don't have to have, $80,000-$90,000 in debt. Because it's like, you know what? I make $80,000 sitting on my couch doing something I love. And that's one thing that the pandemic has kind of like taught people is, I can be who I am, love who I am, and more importantly, like do things I want to do on my own time. And that's the one little blessing that I will say that came out of like this whole coronavirus COVID situation. You've learned that, you know what, like your time is valuable. At the same time, you can make money off of it. So, to the guy, the guy that wanted to do the gaming, just do it now. Don't wait on it. Don't say, you know what, I'm gonna just think about it. The moment you do it, I'm telling you, it's going to snowball. And the next thing you know, we're going to be sitting there watching you in a year. Probably sooner. We're like, damn, like, I'm gaming. Honestly, I just finished Grand Theft Auto 5 maybe 8 months ago. So yeah, like I'm looking forward to you. Like, let us know what your gamer tag is, man. I want to see you. So what's the next voicemail?
Are they taking it up the ass? That's what I'm trying to find out.
Oh.
Okay. Next voicemail.
Do you like it up the ass? I'm trying to find out.
Bye, Sarnell. Good night.
I want to talk with y'all.
Lauren.
You are welcome to talk with us. Absolutely. Shout out to Lauren.
Oh.
I definitely have to agree with Xavier. You guys are doing an amazing job. Like,
thank you.
Not necessarily like dumbing it down for us newbies, but like just giving us the basic gist of everything. I really do appreciate it. So you guys definitely keep shining, definitely keep doing what you're doing, and I love your show so far. This is day 4 for me, and you guys are probably like the third show I've actually sat and listened to for longer than 5 minutes. So I definitely appreciate that from you guys.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Shout out to you, Pixie.
Hey, represent for Wisco.
Yeah, Twitch is a great app. 2 years. I was trying to think of some more, but I really can't think of them right now. But they'll come later.
All right, of course, Xavier.
Yes, I agree with Greg again. Start your YouTube ASAP as soon as possible. Like, not even like no joke. Soon as possible.
And there's only like there's like one reason why it's like super hard to like make a YouTube channel right now and like try to get big, because like the YouTubers like PewDiePie and like the ones that you named and everything, like they started like when it first started, so they're like really famous, and people aren't gonna recognize your channel. They're gonna keep going to them. So that like I can see that like a lot.
Absolutely. And I said this a little bit earlier. I don't know if Adam was in here, but that's why I like Stereo. When people are on here, I tell them, stay on here, be on here, engage on here, and more importantly, like build your following, build your brand, because you are your brand. If you decide, you know what, I just want to talk about sports and golfing, like you are going to be the sports and golfing person whenever Stereo comes on. So then they have to highlight you because you've built your following. People know you, they appreciate you, and more importantly, they respect you. And if the Stereo thing doesn't pan out in like 3 or 4 years, you know what? There's going to be another platform. So it's always a game of what's next. Right now, I feel like Stereo is kind of like ahead right now because obviously the COVID situation happened. Now, whenever COVID stops and people go and they decide, you know what, we have to go back to work, we have to go back to school and things like that, the numbers are going to drop off. More importantly, people are going to like see this app phase out a little bit. The good thing is you would have already at that point, you were ahead of the curve. You started everything. You've already built yourself as a business and a brand. So even if it dies off, you can go somewhere else and say, you know what, that's what I built over there. And a lot of people I hope that they take advantage of the moment that we have with this Stereo situation.
And another thing for the person that was thinking about starting a podcast, your friends are going to be the last people that support your show. Your friends are going to be the last people that post your show. It's going to be complete strangers, and you're going to have to learn the tips and the art of hashtagging all of your work the right way for other people to notice it. Even if you have to accidentally spell someone who's mainstream or famous, even if you're doing gaming, YouTubing, if you spell their name somewhat wrong, as if somebody new would be typing it in, and you hashtag it, your stuff will pop up. So there's ways to get more traction to your page. You have to learn the art of hashtagging your stuff the right way. Use Twitter, use Facebook, use your IG. Check out other people's IGs. Check out other people's hashtag, how they have their page set up. Like there's so many ways to market yourself from home or from wherever you are during this pandemic.
Exactly.
Anybody who's been hustling before this pandemic, I feel like it just got easier because your time got thrown back at you. Exactly. Companies can't tell you have to come in the same way you were before this pandemic. No, I cannot. So now you have more time to focus and pour in on the thing that you were doing part-time before this pandemic. This pandemic is a realization that you need to be figuring out a way to make money by yourself for yourself.
Exactly. I'm gonna just say one last thing, and then we can just move on to the next voicemail. A lot of people's hobbies are going to be their careers pretty soon. Yeah. When I say that, I mean it. Like there are a lot of people out here that was like, you know what, I'm really good at golf, and I could actually make a career from golf. They have the time to hone their skills and just be better. And we do that as podcasters. Like, this is just a platform for us to just continuously get better. We're starting to learn the ins and outs of it, and you can do the same thing. Like, whatever you wanted to start, I would say the best time is, don't wait on it. Right now, as you're listening, you should be taking notes. And if you're not taking notes, you're starting shit. Like, there are platforms for podcasters. You have Anchor, you have Red Circle. We personally use Red Circle because it's free. You can have multiple shows. Your friend can have a show with you, something like that. Either way, like, there are free platforms for you. We made that show about being a black podcaster. If you do want a microphone, I tell people to try to, like, stay away from the Blue Yeti mic, because it's not an investment. Everything for you should just be an investment. Don't go get the microphone that you saw on YouTube that, 5 people say, you know what, this is the mic that you need to start as a microphone. Just don't do it. Just get yourself the the AT 2200. If you get that and a nice, like, a P popper, or whatever you want to call it, a filter, you're fine. If you can't afford that, or you're like, you know what, I don't have like $100 to spend. I'm a student, I go to school. Use your iPhone. Your iPhone literally will get you all the people you want to listen to your show. And more importantly, you can record live from your phone. If you have headphones, if you have your phone, not only do you have a show, your fucking phone does better than your mom's camera right now. Like, that little, that Nikon that she has, your phone takes better photos than her. So if you're a photographer, take your iPhone out and, take snapshots, send that shit to National Geographic. They will pay you per photo $250. That's a hustle right there. Like, you go from being the person who just has stuff in your phone to being able to use the free time you have to make the money that you want. So that's pretty much my highlight.
Hey, yo, man, who the fuck was that corny up the ass niggas, man?
Listen,
we don't know, because he got blocked.
He was blocked. Darnell,
he was blocked.
I had to send him to bed.
You guys are doing a great job on this show. This is my first time using the app, and I love the clarity. I love the way that you're just consistently talking. As someone who's new to the app, who would like to get into podcasting, I'm really enjoying listening to you. It just feels a little more polished than some of the other podcasts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Again, hopefully, if you have any questions, you can obviously hit up Shan. You can hit up myself as well. We're accessible. Like, make yourself accessible if you want to be a podcaster, because trust me, there are people who want to podcast. Like, think about it. Zaven just said he wanted to, do a podcast. You were saying that you want to be a podcast. Who knows? You guys can connect, and then that's a show in itself. Or that could become a podcast because you relate. That's how things happen. Like, that's how social media was supposed to work. Like, think about it. On Twitter, you can say, I want to start a podcast. There's going to be 4 people who won't look at it. They'll like it, but they won't say, I want to start it myself. This Stereo app, I appreciate the fact that it's giving people the ability to say, I want to do it too. So shout out to Stereo for actually getting it right for now. But we're going to get into the dislikes in a minute. Yes, we are.
Yeah, I'm not someone that believes in holding information. Like, if it's going to put you in the place that you've been grinding to get to, I'm going to tell you. You can email me at shegetsitpod@gmail.com. I'll give you anything that I know that could possibly help you. You can hit me on IG. You can hit me on Twitter. Like, I'm not somebody that's holding information. Well, how did you get on such and such platform? Well, how are you doing this? Like, I will give it to you. But what I'm not about to do is your work for you. So if you're interested in information, I feel like people need to give it. The people that don't want to give you information on how you can be better are the people who are insecure about you being better than what they're doing.
Exactly. And trust me, like, as someone who's had that, Shan, you know the background, the whole story and everything like that. There are a lot of people who don't want to see you do good because they see you doing good. And the only way to get around that is to honestly be super consistent and be on top of your shit. Like I said before, you are your brand. So if people see that, your friends, they might put you down. They say, yo, why are you doing that? Like, nobody's going to listen to it. Yeah, there might be no one that listens to us, but I promise you, all it takes is one person to listen to it and one person to share it. And it can go from 1 listen to 100 listens. And you will look and you'll say, you know what? That friend didn't believe in me. What I've learned with podcasting is you know your friends and then you know your peers. A lot of people aren't your friends. They're just your peers. And people that want to see you do good, they're going to know that. And more importantly, they aren't even going to be the ones to encourage you. They're going to be the ones to listen to the show. And then they give you feedback. Hey, yo, I heard that show that y'all did the other day. Or they'll share it on Instagram. They'll share it here. Like Shannon and I, honestly, we've never met. Anybody who's ever like listened to our shows, they think like we've met, we've hung out, never met a day in our lives. However, she encourages me to be the man that I am, the father that I am, because I listen to her show as a mother, as a podcaster. So when you hear these things and you see these things, these are the connections you make in podcasting. Podcasting, honestly, it's a community, but it can also be like really detrimental, but it depends on the crowd that you're in. Just make sure you're in the right crowd and you'll be fine. You'll definitely be fine.
And put yourself in a position to be engaged with people who can teach shit. Like, I feel like I know some things, but every day Greg would like hit me up on the phone and be like, hey, we should try this, or we can do this. I'm just like, what is that? And then he'll tell me what something is, or we'll do a Zoom and we'll do like a screen share so we can get better at doing something. And I feel like those are the people that you need to continuously engage with, and people who are just like, what's that little thing that you're doing? What's that little show that you're doing? That's hella dismissive.
Mm-hmm. But think about it. The Read started as that small show. Joe Button, remember, he didn't even have a fucking name for his podcast. His podcast was "I'll name this podcast later." Do you know he made? I want to say it was like he made like $500 million off of Spotify. And Spotify, when they had the time to renew him, they said we're not going to pay him. So they ended up paying Rod and Karen from the Black Guy Who Tips. They ended up paying Jaden XD that same money. The thing is, there are Black podcasters, white podcasters. There's a format and there's a place for everybody. I will say Joe Rogan probably takes the blunt of that because he's white and he does make a lot of money from UFC and being a comedian and things like that. But podcasting right now is the one market that honestly Apple can't buy and you can't be priced out of. You can say, you know what, I'm an independent podcaster. I can go and get an advertisement, or more importantly, I set my price. Name a job that you can go into and say, you know what, I name my price. Like if I want to be paid $100,000 and I know my content's good, I can go to Spotify, I can go to Apple, I can go to Stitcher and say, you know what, I want $100,000, and you have to give it to me because I'm bringing you the content. But it starts with you actually starting today. You have to start today, not tomorrow, not Wednesday, today.
So sadly you have to go, and I followed you both, so hopefully I can see you guys, like listen to you guys again. And I actually really like your podcast. Keep up the great work.
Thank you so much,
Adam.
Sidebar question: as a consumer, are you more drawn to like podcasts or vlogs?
Because I'm a mom and I'm always on the go, motherfucking podcasts.
Yeah, podcasts. For me, I don't like vlogs. The reason why is because, like you said, attention, and more importantly, nobody really wants to watch shit anymore. Like everything is quick and instant. Like think about it. If you're in the kitchen, and like right now, I'm currently in my kitchen doing this on stereo, so I can go and be making dinner and talking. And I could be completely fine. I don't have to worry about if this person's looking at me like I don't have a haircut. Great. I don't have a haircut. I don't worry about that because it's a podcast. I can record wherever I am, however I want. I don't have to worry about lighting. I don't have to worry about camera setups and things like that. Podcasting.
I hate it.
Like it's the only, for me, it's the only way I can go going forward. Anybody who's like, oh, well, I want to vlog. We appreciate you. And there is like a platform for that. If you're an attractive person, if you're an ugly person, it's not about looks. It's just more so if that's what you want to do. Me personally, I feel like
it's so much just to give verbal fucking content. Like if you were here and I didn't have to speak and you just wanted to look at me, shoot, then I would know I need to vlog. But in the reality, I only watched vlogs when I was fucking pregnant and I looked like humpback. Free Willy. Okay, that's the only time I watch vlogs because I had time and I could sit down and I wasn't really doing shit. But now that I'm on the go and I'm doing shit, I can post episodes while I'm in my car. I can listen to episodes in my headphones that are kind of vulgar and people in Walmart don't want to hear, or Publix. And you got to know who your audience is, because the analytics are very important to look at. It's basically stats on who's listening to what, where they're listening from, where they're at, how are they listening. And if you see that and your motherfucking YouTube or your videos are at 6% compared to 86% is on Apple Podcast app, you need to be focusing on audio, not video.
Exactly. Yeah, if you can't get your audio right, your video's already fucked up because nobody cares at that point. It's like it sounds bad. There's wind chimes in the background. There's this and this and this. And a lot of podcasters, I'll say this, like they're concerned with like editing. They're like, oh my God, I've never edited a show. Trust me, there are ways to do it. The number one is Fiverr. I'm just telling you guys that now. Go to Fiverr for $5, $10, $15. You can say, you know what? I'm only going to record 2 or 3 times a month. Let me just go ahead and pay someone to do it. There are like podcasting gives people money that didn't have money during the pandemic. There are editors who are like, you know what, I'm out of a job because, Fox 5 decided that they want to go and like lay me off or something like that. But they know how to edit things. They know how to edit audio. If you can find someone to edit audio or to teach you, I'm telling you, that's a skill. Like there are a lot of people right now who are looking for jobs. They're like, you know what, I'm a perfect editor. I'm a perfect editor. So when they go back to work, they can put that on their resume. Hey, I started a podcast. I know how to do Adobe Audition now. I know how to do, I know Skype calls and Zooms and stuff like that. I know how to edit things. That's a life skill now. Like nobody has to care about, do you know Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office? We're in 2020. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit anymore. What can you do right now that's digital? We're in a digital world. We're in a digital space, and podcasting is the very niche like avenue where it's like it's digital, but it's also something that in like 10 years is not going to go away. It's not going to be the flip phone of like social media in 10 years. It's actually going to be the news. You're going to see podcasters say, you know what? People are canceling cable now, but they all have iPhones. So instead of going...
The only people that have fucking cable right now are fucking old people. And people don't know what streaming is.
Trust me, my grandmother, what was it, like last week, she calls me and she was like, well, I'm trying to listen to this podcast that, the guy from her church started a podcast. And I was like,
oh, no.
Wait a minute, But honestly, think about it. Like, as like a woman who is like, my grandmother's like in her 70s. But say if you are someone who goes to church, right? But during this pandemic, you can't go to church. But you also have things to do. You have children, you have family and stuff like that. You can't just decide, you know what? I'm going to try to hook my computer up to Zoom. I'm going to try to make sure that I can get that Sunday service in. But you do have an iPhone. You do have an iPad. You can go and say, you know what? I want to hear that podcast, or I can download Zoom. I can listen to it and I can watch that Zoom. But for me, audio is always king. That's why FM radios, I don't know how much money they make. I don't know how they make money, but they exist. And they're not going away because they exist. People want to listen to them. You know what else people like to listen to? Podcasts. It is what it is. AMC theaters went out of business, but podcasting didn't. That should tell you everything you need to know.
And I was listening. What was I listening to? I think it was the Mike Tyson's podcast that he has. News is fucking leaving TV and going to apps and going to podcasts, and people just want to get it really quick and to the point. And I think realistically, people are so much on the go that the information needs to go directly to your phone first before it gets on the fucking TV, because the only people that are at home watching TV are the people who are at home watching their stories.
Exactly. We have a lot of voicemail. Let's get through these, and then we're going to go back into. We have to do the likes and then the dislikes and everything. So,
yeah, just in case what Greg said about the app phasing out and things like that, just because the app phased out, Greg and She Gets It they have me. So whatever like podcasts they like do after stereo or whatever they have other than stereo, I will be there because they have my respect and loyalty now because I like their podcast. They talk about actual things and it's interesting. So y'all got my vote.
Shout out to Xavier, man. Shout out to Xavier.
Appreciate it.
Definitely glad you brought up the hashtag thing because failure in life number 1, creating hashtags.
Yeah.
I just went to y'all pages and accidentally clicked on Grace page and I see Plur Gang. I see hashtag Plur Gang and I went to pods and yours has president. Hey, Plur. It's Plur, not plural.
What's good, podcast family? I just wanted to say hey to y'all. Tell y'all I love y'all. Keep up the great work out there.
Love you too.
Yeah, of course, what Greg said. I mean, if anybody if anybody that's listening currently, wanting to do like a podcast for me on one day or something like that, I am definitely up for it. So just add me, we'll go from there.
For sure. One thing that did strike me, like, he was like, when I talked to y'all, that was my first time on here. You don't give me first time on stereo vibes. You give me like good energy. And to be honest, sometimes a lot of podcasts have great topics, and then the person's energy is fucking negative 10 on where it needs to be in order for somebody to sit and listen to a show or engage in a show, and I don't want to listen. I feel like you'll do fine, Savion, on a podcast because your energy matches.
Yep, absolutely.
Y'all is preaching, man. Y'all preaching. Speak on facts, pod. Speak on fat, Greg. Greg.
Plur gang.
I really appreciate all of this feedback, and I'm really going to use it to better myself and to learn more about podcasting. This is really making it accessible to me in a way I never thought of. So I'm sure there are drawbacks, but I think this is just a good segue into other things without the pressure of having to know exactly what it is that I want to focus on.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Without question.
Yeah, man.
Whoa. What's going on, guys? Can I like catch myself up on a topic?
The topic
so
is stereo.
Go ahead.
The stereo
So the topic is stereo.
Yeah, how we're liking using it, what we thought of it when we first came, the pros and the cons. What do you think that stereo can improve? How you've been liking it so far? Why are you on stereo? Why are you on stereo?
Yeah, that is the $1 million question. What brought you to stereo? Who brought you to stereo? More importantly, what will you do with stereo? Are you going to use it like most people just use Instagram, where it's like, I post a photo and then I'm gone? Or I post it, I'm going to listen to everybody else's stuff for a little bit, like I'm just scroll by and then just keep going? What does stereo mean to you? And like Shannon said, obviously, answer those questions. Give us voice notes because we want to know, because we got our reasons and we're going to give them to you. So let's get these next two. And then
I'm not going to disrespect my cable, man. I need that.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to whoever's out here wants to pay $500 for Comcast. I'm sorry to who's out here waiting for Dish to figure out if your area gets Wi-Fi or not. Like, stop letting people stroke you. I have not had cable for the last 3.5 years. My ex got a My Box, which is like basically an Android box, and it streams every fucking thing to that box. Even movies that are in theater, not out yet, is on that fucking box. I don't go to the movies. I don't have to have HBO. I don't have to have Netflix. I don't have to have none of that shit. It's free and it's streamed to that box. And my internet is $10. So there are ways for you to bypass all that extra shit and keep your fucking money to things that you actually want to spend your money on.
Exactly. And, I'm going to piggyback off that. When it comes to saving your money, the best way to save your money is to get shit illegally. Somebody's going to be like, well, man, he just went left. Yes. But honestly, it's the truth. Like, think about it. There are so many ways. Honestly, you can ask a company for things, and if they're not going to give it to you, just go get it illegally. Illegally, but legally. Like, don't go out here on Twitter and be like, hey, oh my God, I got HBO illegally, or I got Stars, so now I can watch Power. More importantly, if you're watching Power, Ghost died. So shout out. Anyway.
Oh!
And saying these things, what I'm saying is there are ways to get things that you want for cheaper. Cable, like for right now, my wife and I, we pay for cable. We pay about $225 for cable. However, I have a source that will tell you all you need is internet. You don't even need like the gigabit internet. All you need is 250 megabytes over. So once you get that, you can go and get Amazon Fire Stick. I suggest getting an NVIDIA Shield. NVIDIA Shields are like $129. You can put one in your master bedroom. You can put one in your living room. And all you have to do is download an app called TV Mate. You download TV Mate, and you can put in like little links. You can find them on like Reddit or Google. Oh, I'm teaching. The reason why I'm teaching is because a lot of people need to understand like cable is expensive, but there's always ways around it. Like this isn't the LimeWire where everything takes 6 hours to download. Like honestly, my TV, Shan, I'll show you this later. Like they have like NFL Red Zone. NFL Red Zone is usually like maybe like $120 like a year. Like that shit's free for your boy. Like not only is it free, like I'm not doing that. I'm not paying y'all money for stuff that honestly nobody else is watching but me. Like I have my friends who like, oh, I ain't see the Titans game because I live in DC. But you know what? I don't live in Tennessee, but I'm watching that shit. I'm watching it everywhere. Man, I got here's the thing. For example, I have Verizon Fios. So we have about 1,800 channels. 78 of those are music channels. I don't listen to rock and folk music and, like, I don't listen to that shit. I don't see the point in those channels. However, what I have illegally, or, I don't want to say illegally, but what I have that is not legal, rather, like, I have HBO, Epix, Stars, and mind you, I got Stars that I didn't even know Stars had this channel.
Contract?
There's nothing for me. When I was younger, when I was about I'm 33 now, so when I was like maybe like 13 or 14, like my father-in-law. So what he used to do is he had this little cable that he would plug into the back of this TV box, and it would route into the TV, and we would just get free channels. And he worked at a service. Yeah. Oh, trust me, they still have it. But the thing is, like, I used to watch pay-per-view, like WrestleMania. Oh, I from like the age of like 2 until like maybe like 18, 19. I didn't go to pay-per-views. Why? I got it for free. I stole it, which is cool. But now, not only are you stealing it, you're stealing it for free, but everybody else is doing it. Cable knows what they're doing. But think about it. If cable knows they can charge you for $225, but then there are services that you can readily find on Reddit and Google, and you can get them for $20 to $30. Why not take that option? Like, for example, with the NFL games, right? They have a subreddit called NFL Streams. Now, anybody knows this because you can just readily look for it. You can go to NFL Streams. You can take your iPhone. You can take your iPad. You can take your computer. Click that link and watch whatever fucking game you want to without commercials. Here's the thing. Without commercials. So cable is not on its way out because there are still like the generation above us that just decided that they wanted to watch that shit, and they've been paying for it for a while. That's why we have like people who have DirecTV now, and they have YouTube TV. YouTube TV, when it started, it was $35. Now, like after all the ads and everything like that, it's $65. It went up because they realized, oh, we were giving people unlimited DVR and blah blah blah. Here's the thing, I'm one of those people. I don't use DVR. Like, I'd much rather I'll watch the rerun if it comes on, because for a fact it's coming on another day. But if you have a Plex account, you can get a lifetime one for $99, and you can connect that to your TV box, and you can end up getting every single DVR you wanted unlimited. I'm giving you gems here. I need people to know, stop wasting your money in avenues and spaces that you don't have to waste them.
For sure.
Anybody who decides, if you want to go and cancel cable, the 3 things you need is this. A Plex account, that's $99. You can get that. Get yourself an NVIDIA Shield or an Amazon TV. The issue with the Amazon TV is eventually the remote will die, or the streaming box that goes in the HDMI port will die out. You don't want to deal with that. So that's why I say go to the NVIDIA Shield. NVIDIA Shield has it comes with a fucking gaming controller for $129. So if you don't have a PlayStation, like, guys, your women are not going to get you PS5s this year. Just ask for NVIDIA Shield. There is a way to port PS. No,
you're killing dreams tonight. You're killing dreams.
I lie to you not. No bullshit. With an NVIDIA Shield, you can actually port PS4 games now. So say if you don't even want a PS5, you can go and port PS4 games to the NVIDIA Shield now. So I've been playing games from the fucking Sega Dreamcast, Super NES. I have a TurboGrafx 16 game. I've been playing fucking Hoops with a Z. That shit came out in 1989. I've been playing that on my TV like it's nothing. Mike Tyson boxing, you can play that shit. NFL Red Zone, obviously with cable, you can watch that. No, there's one thing I will say, like, with the NVIDIA Shield and the Amazon TVs, you can actually go and watch live cameras from different states and places. I've never been to Niagara Falls, but I can watch that shit from my couch every single day.
Niagara Falls.
So, No bullshit. Like if anybody needs to know, we'll put it in the show notes for the podcast and stuff like that. I'll make sure that you know the right things you need to do, but stop spending money on places and things that you don't need to do. We got a lot of voicemails. Let's get to those.
Yo, I really want to get on the Stereo app, man, but I don't think that I have the temperament to deal with the crazy voicemails. You know what I'm saying? Like if it's a positive voicemail, I got it, but if it's a negative voicemail, man, I'm really going to react to that. And I'm saying, Greg, you know how we get down. Don't forget that, yo, son.
Chris,
yeah. Shout out to Forget That, yo.
You take that index finger, aka the boogie finger, and you take it to the right, and you hit those 3 dots at the side, and you block that ass. When I tell you my block list look like my credit score. It's very high. Just block them. Don't even give them that energy. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
Now, what brought me to Stereo was I'm a TikToker. So I seen it on TikTok and I was like, oh, this is cool because like I said, I wanted to get know more about podcasts. So I got on Stereo and it was like you can meet different people and things like that. Just like I met you two. You guys are awesome. So yeah, that's how I found Stereo.
My 6-year-old loves TikTok.
I came to Stereo to share love, peace, and peppermints.
Okay.
Yeah.
Peppermints. Like that one now. I dig.
Yeah, that's true. Like cable companies are not honestly anymore. I have a Fire Stick, things like Fire Sticks. They have Roku TVs, actual Rokus that you get put on the TV just like a Fire Stick. They have game systems now. Game systems, they also help a lot. Like game systems that have media and things like that on there. So cable is really in the future. I think it's going to be nothing. It's going to be extinct in the future because there are a lot of things taking over now.
It's going to be people trying to get rid of their DVD boxes because everything is digitally stored on your TV.
Oh, I'm going to say this for the ladies because I don't want to be disrespectful and say it in a guy term. So ladies, cable is the dick that you're used to, but you know for a fact there's better things out there. They're definitely better. You know for a fact there's better things out there. And I know that's a little bit X-rated for the children, aka this is not a child's show. So if you're in here and your children...
That's my other con, Greg. That right there.
Wait, we're not there. We're not there yet. We haven't even gotten to the likes. Let's get this last one out, and then we're going to get to the likes and dislikes. Because
cable's a fucking genius, bro. They're an absolute powerhouse of electronics.
Yeah, see, look at this. Look at God. So let's get into the likes. So do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first? Because I have mine written down.
I on the Stereo app. I love that I can talk to different people from different places. I love that I can chime in and out of discussions without saying goodbye, without saying, oh, y'all boring, or without saying, okay, I'm done. It takes ghosting to the next level. I love the fact that I can dual make profits off of something I was going to do anyway. I'm going to record anyway, but I can come record on Stereo app, talk to who I want to talk to, get instant feedback from who's listening instead of them, hitting me up on IG or hitting me up on Twitter about an episode. I can get instant feedback while in my show that I can share with other listeners that are going to listen to my show, make a profit off of my show on Stereo app, turn around, take that audio, download it, edit it, chop it up, make multiple shows off of that one recording, then go ahead and make an audio post podcast on my other platform, monetize it, get my sponsors and make money. So don't shoot yourself in the foot saying, oh, well, I'm just going to do this. If you're going to do whatever you're going to do, make sure that it's good. So I like that aspect. I also like actually being able to engage with my followers and not just have them sit like people be sitting on IG. You don't know why they're following you and they haven't spoken. Y'all never engaged in anything. They just like your pictures from time to time. You see them lurking on your live, but they don't say shit. No, people on here actually talk to each other. And you get to hear different topics that you probably wouldn't have with your friends. You instantly get to hear it real quick. So I do like that about that.
Exactly. All right, so here's my likes. Number one, connections. This is a great way for friends to become closer without caring about their appearance. Like I said this earlier, but I mean this shit. Like you can literally go take a shit, be on here, and nobody knows unless you flush. So trust me, I have been in that case when I've been drunk and I just decided, you know what, I ain't gonna flush yet, but I'm gonna mute myself and then I'm gonna go. There we go. So we got number one. Oh yeah, I have the mute button. Like, well, I had the mute button. I don't know if we have it anymore. I think they kind of like they actually hold on. Oh yeah, they took away the mute button. So basically, they just said fuck us. Oh no, it's at the top. So all you do is when you go to the stereo at the top, there's that mute button for you. You have to make sure you hit the mute button, and then you're muted, but the other person can keep talking. So that's number one for me. Number two, proper social networking. I keep saying this, and I'm going to continue to say this until like this app finally dies. With text being so impersonal and like being misunderstood, being able to understand each other with their voices means so much. Like you don't understand how many arguments start on Twitter because the way you said something on Twitter didn't convey to somebody else who was just honestly having a bad day. You may have said it in like the most graceful way you can possibly have said it, but since it's on Twitter and people are just naturally fucking angry on there because they're just reading things, and a lot of people don't read. I looked at like a poll where like the election thing was happening and people were going and asking questions about the election, like the numbers and stuff like that. But it's like, yo, you're at the tweet has the link that tells you, hey, here are the live polls. And people are like, well, fuck this and fuck that. I'm like, you realize if you just click the link, like you get all the information there. Podcasting gives you all the information right there. So the only way you can be mad is honestly if you a hater. And you know, shout out to Chris, you know, shout out to Stone, like shout out to Forget That Yo, because my statement is just forget that, yo. Like, nah, like some shit just it's not supposed to happen. My next thing for my likes though is the voice messages. I feel like I said before, I don't check voicemails. I will check voice messages on here because not only does it make things engaging, but it's like a key highlight. Like there are people who sing, there are people who talk, and they just might have quick quips that make things so much better when you do like a recording. My last I have two. So personalities and show growth. If you actually have good content on stereo, you'll know it because you don't have to be in the leaderboard to know you have good content. You just know for a fact people fuck with your stuff and they're going to continuously listen to your stuff. So to the people who are in here leaving voice notes, we know that you fuck with us, and trust me, we fuck with you as well. We want you to continue fucking with us. We're not going to be like, oh, all of a sudden we're leaving. The only way we're leaving is if they decide, you know what, hey, we just died. Like we're going to do like HQ did and just like never show back up again. Like we are not Scott Rakowski. We're going to make sure we're going to keep giving y'all content. In saying that though, there's going to be content that's going to be on here, and there's definitely going to be other content that is on the podcast. So She Gets It, Young Black and Bothered, like you're getting shows now. That doesn't mean to stop listening to our actual podcast because there's a lot of shit that you're going to miss, but you need to follow. So like I said again, She Gets It pod and Young Black and Bothered. And my final like is the fact that this shit is free. There is no bullshit.
Don't forget to check out Young Black and Bothered podcast with Greg on it and his clique of Young Black and Bothered peeps. This is She Gets It podcast. Please add us and follow us on the Stereo app, Loud Mouf Stereo. Peace.
VIP list. There's no RSVP list. People aren't going on Twitter saying, hey, you know, it's going to be $500 to get into here, like the Clubhouse app and stuff like that. There is no like elitism when it comes to this app. If you have an iPhone or an Android phone, you can download the app and shit just works. You sign up for an account and you can just talk to whoever the fuck you want to talk to. Think about having a pen pal in elementary school. In the third grade, you're like, you know what? I was talking to someone in like some foreign land and I never met them, but you know what? They had damn good conversation. It's what we have here. So, Jesus, I didn't know we had so many voicemails already again. Shad, did you have anything else you want to say before you wanted to get to the voicemails?
What I like about it, I just want them to continuously improve. And if you're going to bring in content creators, demand motherfucking content, honey. Like, I don't want to come in on here and we're having a conversation about celebrities or people are stealing topics that people had from last night because they ran out of shit to talk about. Like, that's the worst thing about podcast shows or anything else. people repeating things that are already talked about. There's only so many times that I want to hear about this topic. There's already so many times that I want to hear about that topic. Like, come with something new and fresh. It makes you not want to share anything too early, and it makes you not want to share certain things at all because people are so unoriginal sometimes, and it makes me like, well, goddamn, do you have a brain or do you not have a brain?
Absolutely. Oh my God, the voicemails are going up. We're blowing up, people. Actually, we're not blowing up. Y'all blowing up. Y'all got
you know, hope I'm not bothering you, boy. Yeah, you guys, or you know, you get what I'm saying here. So I hope I'm not bothering you. And I just wanted to ask, what's the deal with the question or the check marks you got there? Both of you guys got one. I don't want one. I'm just curious, you know. So just give me a little information. So how do you get them? What's the deal? What's the deal, huh?
What is dick? But Greg, tell him.
Yeah, dick. Yeah. So first and foremost, the fact that your name is Dick Cheese, that means that you might be a nasty individual, but trust me, there are a lot more nasty people on planet Earth. Now, normally I've known it to be called knob cheese, but hey, Dick Cheese is just as good. That's basically when. So knob cheese is when you don't wash between the area between your balls and your inner thigh, and you end up having like a smell that smells like cheddar cheese, pepper jack, and and earring backs. Yeah, you don't want knob cheese. Knob cheese is what happens when like you don't wash your balls for 3 days, and then you go and get some ass, and then you don't wash your balls after. That's knob cheese. Nobody wants knob cheese. But he has Dick cheese, so I'm assuming what Dick cheese is it? Is it pepper jack? Is it cheddar? Is it?
Don't do that.
We love pepper. You know, we love pepper jack, but the issue is like you don't want pepper jack cheese on your dick. Like, have you ever sucked a dick with a piece of cheese wrapped around it? I'm sure you haven't. And if you have, you are a disgusting human being. Like, some things should never happen. Some things should never happen. And having dick cheese, knob cheese, like, it's not supposed to happen. Anyways, though, so he wanted to know exactly why we are verified. We're verified. At least, you know, Shannon is verified because her show, She Gets It Pod, is actually a podcast that the people listen to, I listen to, and honestly, we are content creators outside of this. We've been doing this before this stereo thing was cool. Me, I am a content creator as well, but I was a content creator since birth. Like, I could draw, I could read, I could write. More importantly, like the shit I have to say, you better listen to it. And if you haven't listened to it, somebody's going to tell you about it, and then you're going to listen to it anyway. So the two of us, with our power combined, we do not turn into Captain Planet. We come.
Hey, I like that show.
Yeah, we come to you with content, and our content, you might hate it, you might love it. You know, either way, we're going to have content. If there was nobody listening to this show right now, we would still fuck with y'all. But more importantly, we fuck with each other, and that's why our content is the content we have. There are certain people I want to shout, like a couple people out, more specifically, Thotty Scotty. So when I first got on here and I was like listening to Thotty Scotty, shout out to him. It was like, you know what, like, he's giving people content that it's like we appreciate, but more importantly, like it makes me smile. Like, I know for a fact I can hear it and it's entertaining, it's engaging, and you appreciate that. It makes you want to come back to the app. So I'm assuming like the people who are just learning of this app now, they're seeing us and they're seeing us engaging. Like, you know what? I appreciate you guys, and we want you to do that for the next group and the group after that. Like, people should take the content that you create, even if you have a check mark. You don't have to have a check mark on this app to be good at what you do. Just say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't get on here and just come with no docket. Don't come on here with no bullshit. More importantly, like, people want to hear you talk. I don't want to hear you breathing and opening the refrigerator every 10 minutes. I don't want to hear, 5 hours of conversation, but you only talk for 30 minutes. We want to hear you. We want to hear you. I started like a stereo account because I wanted to hear what other people had to say, because my perspectives needed to be changed. 2020 has been a really fucked up year. I initially started this. I was like, you know what? I want to hear what white people have to say right now. And then it went from me wanting to hear what white people had to say to be like, you know what? There's black people on here. Because honestly, stereo at that point was just a whole bunch of white people. There were some therapists, some psychologists. There were some people who were funny. And there was that girl who talks about sex. I think, what's her name? Shout out to Dayton and Stereo. So she was, she had her show and everything like that. She still has her show. However, with us, the difference in us is we learn from them. We want to improve what they have going, but we're not going to disrespect them. And that's where Stereo right now, like it's right now in the like phase. We definitely have dislikes, but it's more so it's like we want to continue for the people who are coming behind us to just know this app isn't going anywhere. That's why this whole episode is just critiquing the little nitpicks that we absolutely fucking hate. And saying that, Shan, what do you have? Because boy, wait till these dislikes. You gonna hate me.
My dislikes is I just want this shit to work correctly. I want it to make sense. When I'm in a conversation and we in here doing numbers and listeners and feedback, I don't want to completely lose a good show because of a glitch. Like those things need to be worked out before you give it to the public to go ahead and use. I also don't. Can you do something about these people who go through making a whole page, making a whole profile, only to come on people's pages and have the N-word be thrown, have racist comments be thrown, have different screens of what they look like when they really don't look like that, just so they could be in a conversation and throw in like a derogatory comment or whatever. Like blocking them is not enough, because they gotta come tomorrow with something new. Like that shit is just like, it's stupid. And to me, even if there are some listening right now, go find something to do. Go clean your house. Go figure out where the Q-tips are in your house. And if you don't have none, go to Walmart. Go get you some Q-tips and clean your ears. But sitting on here and creating an app and coming into people's discussions or whatever they're doing just so you can say the N-word, to me is pointless. Like, what do you get out of that shit?
Mm-hmm. Oh, are you ready? Because you know I like to talk, but this one's going to hurt a lot of feelings. Anybody who's in here, they probably follow these people. They saw the alert. I was going to start at 1, but I'm going to start at 7 and just work my way back down. Number 1, white people shouldn't use black avatars, period. There was a talk earlier. I forgot the young lady's name and the guy's name. There was a black guy and a white woman. And as someone who's in an interracial marriage, I will say this. There's certain things she can do. There's certain things I can't do. What you're not going to do is have me fucked up. Okay. And this is where they had me fucked up. A white man or a woman trying to explain to me why it's okay that they can use black avatars. Absolutely fucking not at all. More importantly, me as a black man, like I can't go and put white on my job application. I can't go and use the white emoji. Why? I know I'm black. Why do you want to be us so fucking bad that you have to use the black emoji? Like, I get it. You already like you like to twerk like black women. You want to talk. You want to talk like black women, but you don't respect black women. So the fact that you feel like you have the goal to go and not only put your emoji as a that's blackface. And the fact I was listening to this chat and I was so offended. Like, I didn't want to be offended, but it was more so like, yo, you went out of your way. They put the white color emojis for like the skin tone. They put white first. They put white first in this app. So you can pick to be white by default. And you say, you know what? I don't want to be me. I want to be Rachel Dolezal. Here's the issue. You have me absolutely fucked up. So if this person, if these two people hear this or somebody shares it to them and says, hey, yo, Greg was talking about you. Trust me, I'm not talking about you. I'm telling you the shit that everybody else in the comments that you didn't play on your stereo would say to you. As a white person, I don't want to hear you explain to me, a black person, why it's okay for you, a white person, to change your emoji to be black. Trust me, we can't do that. Think about it. I'm going to flip the script for the first time ever.
Yeah.
As a black guy, right? Imagine if I got on stereo and I had a white emoji. You and I are talking. You have a black emoji. You're a black woman. Me as a black man, I have a white emoji, and I'm just throwing nigga this, nigga that, N-word here, bitches this, blah, 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 blah. You as a black woman, they not even coming at me. They're like, oh, you let that white guy talk to you like that?
Yeah,
like, he's saying nigga this, like he's a white guy. So the woman, no disrespect to you, I don't even know who she is. I've never met this person a day in my life. I felt really disrespected, not as a black person, but as a human. The fact that you are a white woman who has every single fucking privilege on planet Earth, and you took the privilege that you had and escalated it by saying, you know what, I want to be black on an app that we can't see each other. This is not FaceTime. Yeah. You can literally just be the white woman you are, but you're like, you know what? Being black is cool on here. It trends on here. Like the leaderboard has black people. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I turn myself into a black person for this. Even though when I speak eloquently. I speak like an educated white woman. Not saying that black women are not educated, but you know the difference.
We're very educated.
Exactly. But you know for a fact the afflictions that white women have when they talk. There are certain things you're like, oh, that's definitely a white woman. Or it's a black woman that speaks well. Here's the difference, though. Black women who speak well, they already are educated. They already know they're black women, and they don't have to go and do the fucking most. So I felt really bad, not for me being a black guy, but for having a black mom, having a black wife. Yes, I have a white wife, but at the same time, like talking right now to you, Shan, as a black woman, I felt so fucked up knowing that a white woman, literally for the sake of clicks, for the sake of going and saying, you know what, I want to have more than 40 listens for my bullshit ass show. I want to say white people should be able to use black avatars. Newsflash, honey, you fucking can't. You can't. Yo, that's almost like if somebody said to me, and I'm just putting it at surface level because somebody's going to be disrespected by what I say. They'll be like, oh, well, Greg, you have a white wife, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you know what? She's never come to me and said, oh, nigga this, nigga that. Because she knows some things you just know better. I know for a fact I'm not going
out of respect, out of just being a human
out of fucking respect. You're not going to fucking a drive-through and spitting at somebody. But mind you, the last 4 years, people have literally come out of the woodworks and shown us who the fuck they are. But you got the wrong one today, honey. You have the wrong one. This is what we're not doing. It really hurts me. Like, for me being in love with a white woman, it really hurts to see other white women just not acknowledge the fact that you already have all the fucking power on planet Earth, all of it. To the point where there was 56% of y'all who voted that motherfucker in 2016. 2016, It was y'all. It was you, motherfucker. So in 2020, all of a sudden everybody's, it's togetherness, is Black Lives Matter. Here's the thing. Black Lives Matter, but you're not black, sweetie. So you can't go and use black avatars. This shit is sickening. It's disgusting. And the fact that you did it to win a measly ass $800-900 that you got to split with a black man who saw and heard this shit. And he said nothing to you. Yo, it hurt me so much, man. Because I was sitting like, imagine me going and having my wife spew that shit, the same shit that woman said. If my wife,
you would never. You would never.
You would fucking never. Oh my God, I was never more hurt than that shit. Like, God, man. Let's get. We have so many voicemails. We're gonna get through these, and we're just gonna play them back to back because we're not done. Because we're still working on the dislikes.
Okay, quick little story time. My voice for the people that's probably out there wondering, like, why you talk like that and things like that. But I actually, where I come from Columbus, Georgia. So we have a very mean slang down there. We pronounce each R's like very heavily and things like that. And some words you won't even understand that when we say you won't even understand it. So as I grew, I moved away. So when I moved away, I taught myself how to not pronounce my E's and R's so strongly, things like basically to change my slang into like proper English. So, but I do have some part of that slang in me still. So that night when I first met y'all, I had a little bit in there. And then when it got funnier, I just started using like back to my fully slang and things like that. But I have actually taught myself to not speak like that anymore. So I can speak normally. But now that we're getting down to business, the likes and the cons, I'm going to start back speaking how I taught myself, like how I speak now. But I am going to have like some...
Good.
Okay, I don't know if y'all just got my last message, but I'm doing a little quick story time on why I talk like this sometimes. So, like I said, I'm from Columbus, Georgia, in y'all last podcast. Down there we have a very mean slang. So I moved away from there when I was like 11, I want to say. So when I moved away, I had to teach myself how to like not pronounce my E's and R's and like pronounce the words the correct way and have a proper speaking type. So I did teach myself how to not speak like where I come from because it was like people didn't understand me and things like that. So that night, when I spoke like that, it's not perfect, it's not perfect now, but I am like, it's like very much better. So you can't understand me if I talk regular, but that night I was like, we was having a great time. So I started like pushing things. I started like overdoing things, and it was hilarious. We came up with the plur game, things like that. But I can talk regular in some sort of way. So yeah.
Shout out to the plur gang, man. Absolutely.
It's anecdotal, but it does support what you're saying. I never fucking read. Last time I read was Outsiders, that fucking book about fucking. You probably read it in fucking high school years ago. So you're kind of right. A lot of people do not read, and
I love reading.
the way I see it is, maybe it's a bad mindset to be in, but whoop-de-fucking do,
Nah, man, you got a good mindset, man. You can tell he's a good guy overall, man. Just because you don't decide you want to read doesn't mean that you're a bad person, man. Honestly, there's so much shit that you don't have to read anymore. You can use Audible. You can hear that shit. Podcasts, they're a book club. You don't have to be somebody who's just like really book savvy, man. Like, don't put yourself down. You know for a fact exactly who you are. Just because you don't want to read, honestly, there are a lot of people who graduated college and stuff like that. They went through all them fucking books. I can tell you they don't remember none of it. Guaranteed.
I really had my mom read those textbooks. I'm like, okay, so these are the questions.
Yes, the voice message I think is pretty awesome because you can do a podcast, but for them to add the voice messages, then it's like you're more engaged into your listeners and things like that, and you get to like actually have a conversation with them in some sort of way. So yeah,
without question.
What's happening? What's up with y'all, man? What's the topic? What's the word? Been trying to get on. Greg, what's up, bro? We can't get a collab. What's up, bro?
Yes, y'all can.
Yeah. Well, see, if you do one with me, you have to do one with Shane. That's the rule of thumb. Like that's how we do it. Like we have to bring everybody together. Each one teach one, my brother. Each one teach one. What's his next voicemail?
I hear you. That's the right idea. Improvement is key, but how can they improve? Give them a little bit of a push. Give an example on something they could improve. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. What else?
Hey guys, I'm back.
What's up?
Hey, Adam is back. Shout out to you.
When I go to your profiles, it shows that it says join live. Can you join people that are live, or is that nothing?
No. I'll make this brief. So basically, when it says join live, it's basically kind of like interrupting a call. So say, for example, you're on the phone with your mom, and then your dad calls, and it tells you to either accept and decline the call that you're on, or just decline that call. That is their way of saying, hey, you are invited into the call that's existing, but one of them, the person that you called, you're going to talk to them. You're not going to talk to the co-host. So I advise anybody who knows of that button just to avoid that button if you're listening to a live call. Just leave a comment, leave a voice note, and everything else will be fine. Because if you invite and that person accidentally accepts that call, it drops the current existing call that's happening. So what's the next voicemail?
So I actually I don't have any dislikes at the current moment because, like I said, I'm still a newbie to this app, so I'm still learning. But as I go, I will let y'all know things I do dislike that need to change and things like that. So yeah, I just need some more experience on this app. So I really don't. So I'll just sit back and listen for the dislikes.
Okay. Yeah. You're gonna like these dislikes, I promise you. You already heard one, but yeah.
Has anybody experienced the app kicking them out of a discussion?
Oh.
Or is it
No, I think that's just us. But it's going to keep going to these voicemails because trust me, I got to get back to my thread.
Right. Yeah. Sounds like you need a soapbox, not a fucking social media. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to get your take on the both of you. I want to get your take on Black Lives Matter. I'm young. I don't know much about it. I don't know. I heard it's a movement. It goes unsaid if you ask me. It's, yeah. What do you got to say? I'm a listener.
Here we go. I'm going to make this real brief. Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead. Okay. Okay. First and foremost, I don't get paid for that shit. As a black person, I don't get paid to teach white people, or any person rather, about black shit. There is actually a website called blacklivesmatter.com who tells you exactly what the fuck they are. If you don't want to do the research for yourself, I can't do it for you, my friend. I get it. You were trying to be funny. For me, I didn't even take it as disrespect. It was just more so it's like, you don't know any better. And it's the equivalent if your coworker said, hey, did you watch that last night? And I'm like, yeah, I did. But why the fuck are you asking me about it if you knew for a fact that I watched it? Like, I'm black. So like, yeah, I watched the protest. Yeah, I watched the election. Why? Because I don't want that motherfucker in office. So the fact that you asked that, I'm actually kind of upset. I don't know if you're white, green, gray, or black. What I'm going to say is this. My friend, the reason why I'm calling you my friend, you're not my friend, but you're someone who just isn't knowledgeable. Black Lives Matter is not just a movement. It's not just a mood. It's not just something. It's honestly what got the piece of shit that's in the office right now together. It is the state, it is the black people, it is the black women, it is the black men following the black women, because honestly, if it wasn't without the black women, the black men probably wouldn't have fallen in line right there. So BLM, Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ matters. I'm sorry, LGBTQIA+, because that is actually the accurate, enunciation for that. You have to do the research. Black people are actually kind of fucking sick of doing the research for you that we've had to do. More importantly, like, Google is your friend. Like, I get it. Like, you were trying to engage, and I'm not trying to disrespect you at all, because we do appreciate giving you new insight. But the thing is, the insight's already there for you. You're asking questions that already have answers, and there's easier ways to get those answers. And I hope that you, as a man, first and foremost, like, respect women, respect black women more than the white women that are around you, because honestly, the black women are like already at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to it. So I hope that you just go ahead and do your research for you. Damn, like, I'm sorry, I didn't want to soapbox, but that actually kind of fucked me up.
My take on it. He asked, what do we think about it? Okay, my thoughts about it are the same thoughts that I have about when people say driving while black. There's no such thing as driving while white. You know why? Because nothing happens to y'all. Y'all got to hit on the wrist and y'all get to go home and do whatever y'all want. Even if y'all a little tipsy, my house is like 5 minutes on here, fine, I'll go ahead and follow you. Y'all cool. Driving while black is a thing because everything gets put on level 10 when you're black behind the wheel. So that's why that's a thing. Black Lives Matter is a thing because people are walking around here living, breathing, shitting, working, expecting, wanting, and treating people who have a certain skin tone as if their fucking rights don't fucking exist. The fact that somebody has to say, hey, my black skin that I'm in, the life that I have matters too, and make a fucking sign or make a fucking website and say, hey, my life matters too. That's the fucking problem. That's the problem right there. Why do I have to say that my life matters in order to get some fucking attention? I shouldn't have to say it. So when people say, you know what? No, we're not going to say Black Lives Matters, all lives matters. Yeah, all lives matter, period. But you ain't see me. You ain't want to have a conversation until I said that my life matters. The issue that I be having is, why the fuck is it an issue for someone to say that their life matters, period?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. I'm going to just close this because I want to make sure we get this out the door. Your black friend, his life matters. That black woman that you're attracted to, but you don't want to tell people because, you're afraid of how that looks. You're like, oh, she got a big ass, big titties, blah, 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 blah. Her life matters. That black rapper, shout out, rest in peace to King Von. Like, oh my God, like, rest in peace to him. That black rapper that is talking that black shit that you and your white friends listen to, his life mattered, man. And fuck, man. Yeah, I'm actually trying not to like cry about this situation because this man really died unjustly. But it's just one of those things where it's like, yo, like the fact that people take Black Lives Matter and turn it into a negative, it doesn't mean that brown lives doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that your life doesn't matter. Your life matters too. the whole idea behind Black Lives Matter is to let you know, it's like, yo, like, we're not exempt. Like, we're just not like a squirrel on the sidewalk. Like, you saw it there, but it didn't exist until like it mattered to you. Like, it matters. It happens. Like, we matter, you matter, but more importantly, as a Black person, we're telling you as Black people, we matter. We appreciate the fact that you are you, but the thing is, you don't appreciate us and you don't think we value each other. So usually the default is, oh, well, Black people kill Black people all the time. Yes, they do. However, this just not on camera, and it's not at the nature that it's always being displayed, man. Like the Breonna Taylor thing, like, you know me, like, I'm always soapboxing, but it's certain things, just like to see white men go and treat a Black woman the way that they treated her, and the fact that the shit, like, to this day, they're like, you know what? It happened, but it didn't happen. How can we get away from it? That's why Black Lives Matter. When you see, like, as a Black person, when you have to go and park further away from the grocery store because you're like, oh, like, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to end up in an altercation. That's why Black Lives Matter. As that, that 20-year-old man who, when you go into a store and they're telling you, like, they're following you in the store. That's why Black Lives Matter. When you go into that Chinese carryout, or, you go into the mall and you go to H&M and they're following you around the fucking store, and you have the money in your pocket. You don't have to wear Gucci to just show that you have the money. It's just the fact that you're Black. You're in H&M and all their shit is every bit of like $14, $15. They value $5 more than they value. Yeah, they value their product more than they value you. That's why Black Lives Matter. More importantly, man, like, the fact that you have to ask for an explanation as to Black Lives Matter only proves one thing. We're not only have we gotten through to you, is the fucking answers to your question. Yeah. You're just upset because you don't want to acknowledge it, man. Like, not only does Black Lives Matter, your life matters too. Brown people's lives matter too. Like, think the Washington football team. The reason why they're the Washington football team right now is because they've been the fucking Washington Redskins forever. It's derogatory. It's wrong. It's fucked up. Everybody knew it. But you know what it had to take in order to get that shit done?
Money already, they won't change it because Black men being arrested makes state so much fucking private jail money, they won't fix it. Shit be going on that's fucking negative, but because it makes money for somebody else's pocket and allows them to send their fucking kids to fucking private school and have their vacation homes and their fucking trips, they're not gonna fix it. So yeah, just don't bring it up. Don't bring it up because you really don't want to care about it. Don't bring it up.
Think about it. The only reason your life really matters is because our life didn't have value to you. Like, that's why we have the 23. Think about it. There would be no 23andMe. There would be no Ancestry if we knew we know where the fuck we came from. Everybody knows who we came from. There are white people right now who are disgraced at the fact that they are 6-7% Black. They hate that shit. They hate the fact that, you know what, their grandparents, yeah, they may have had sex with a Black slave. And mind you, that's something that they did intentionally. You know for a fact that's a part of your blood, and you hate it so much. You hate the fact that that's a part of you. That's a part of your legacy, and that's something that you can't take back. That's why when Black people and brown people alike, because here's the thing, it's not just about us being Black and African Americans or, foundational Black Americans and stuff. The Hotep shit that people like that say. White people hate the fact that we say that, because they actually have no counter. They have to, it's like looking in the mirror. You're like, it's not even me that fucked up. It's the person behind me that fucked up, and I can't acknowledge it. Just acknowledge, you know what? Your ancestors are fucked up. Your parents are fucked up. They taught you fucked up behavior. But the thing is, you can change. The difference, though, is us being Black people, we've heard that you guys were going to change for so long. We don't want to hear that shit no more. That's why Black Lives Matters exists, because we got tired of having you be the representatives for us, that we started speaking up for ourselves. And you hate that shit. You hate the fact that we are who we are. And more importantly, you just hate the fact that you can't change it. It's not going anywhere. That's why we are going to have what we're going to have for the next 4 years. Hopefully, Lord willing, I don't want to speak it into existence and it doesn't happen. I'm just saying, when and if things change, which they should, I just hope that the next generation of people just knows, you know what? It wasn't just for us black people, us black people. It wasn't just for our kids. It wasn't for their kids. It was for the entire world, which has always been from the jump, man. I'm sorry, man. Wow.
Next
We have a lot of.
That was like slightly off, but we don't get back.
Yeah, like Pa said, like what do you get out of just the, like, your goal is okay. It's really disturbing when your goal is to get on this app and call somebody the N-word or just say racial slurs or just say anything in general mean to podcasts that are just being positive and talking about real world situations or just having conversations. Like me, when I get on this, I like do things when I get on this. Like I'm walking around the house, I'm working on my computer and things like that because you can listen. I can listen while I work, and I'm actually taking in information while I work. I like to listen to podcasts while I work.
Yeah, just keep going through the voice. We got.
Hi guys, how you doing? We up in here hotboxing things.
Hotboxing?
Yo, I'm in an interracial relationship myself. I would never think to use a black avatar, period. I mean, my avatar doesn't look anything like me, but he's white because I'm white.
Right.
Exactly.
And even when I first did this, I just got this app yesterday, and I thought my avatar, to be honest with you, was too dark. And I was like, I don't want people to have a misrepresentation of who I am.
Yeah.
And I love all people.
Exactly.
Just think about it.
Yourself.
Like, period. 4 years when it came to emojis, 4 years, the reason why they were like the yellowish orange that they were is because they were trying to like kind of like play the two, like the left and the right, but it was like at the end of the day, like, for you have to do this. You just don't want to do it. But then when everything kicked off, it's like, hey, we have to. So now that we have that, it's like we wouldn't have had that 65 years ago if we had iPhones and shit like that. It was like, no.
Yeah.
You gonna be white, and that's what the fuck it is, like, period. But next voicemail, we got too many.
According to Nokia, we all would have been gray.
Now what, man? Oh my god!
Incorrect. I definitely respect black women, so watch your fucking tongue, man. You're barking up the wrong fuck.
Yeah, I don't see how white women can want to be like a black woman. First of all, trying to do things that a black woman does. That black woman could look at that white person or white woman and be like, that's how you think we act and you want to act like that, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. So that's like kind of offensive to black women as well.
Exactly.
Greg, you make me want to change my avatar to a black person and just troll people. You're getting so upset about it.
No,
and just like that, trust me, the block list keeps going. And it's fun at this point.
Don't do it.
Are we really surprised, though, that
not at all.
You've got white women out here trying to continue to co-opt anything that a black woman has? I'm not surprised at all. I'm also not surprised to see a white woman say, well, why can't I have me a black avatar? Or look, my avatar has a suntan. No, bitch. You just knew that your extremely lily white avatar was not going to get the conversation that you wanted. We've had white women doing this shit forever. They need to be called out on it all the time.
Yeah.
Bingo. Every single fucking time.
Yeah, there was a situation at a Bojangles. I don't know if it was in North Carolina or what, but there was a situation at Bojangles where a worker there, a black young lady worked there, and these two white men came in and asked her if they asked her to give them a free drink. Why are you asking for a free drink? You know what I'm saying? So she said no, of course, and they got mad at her. So after she got off of work, they waited outside till she got off of work, not knowing what time she got off of work. So while y'all went outside, they waited outside till she got off of work, and they spat at her. So no, it wasn't. She didn't get off work. She was on break. I'm sorry. She got on break, and they spat at her, and she went back in and told her manager, like, those two white men that just like came in and caused hell about those free drinks that I told them no about, they spat at her and she didn't want to work anymore. And the manager didn't care. The manager told her to get back to work. And that's like, are you serious?
Exactly. Think about
hey, what's up, y'all? How y'all doing tonight?
What's going on, my friend? Like, think about it. All the shit I just said, and even though I made sure I said it enough to the point where I wasn't disrespectful, I wasn't trying to bring too many like racial undertones in it. I just said it directly. There was still that one asshole that we had to block because he was like, I didn't realize you were so upset. Like, I've been so upset since 2016, but the issue is I can't go and not have to control my anger. White people don't have to control their anger. They go to elementary schools and shoot up kids who can't defend themselves. They go and do shit like go to Burger King after they shoot up and blow up schools and shit like that. Black people, we get shot on sight. Yeah. That's why, next, because
I like that, brother. That sound amazing. I like that one. Can I join?
Okay, Borat. Well, sure. Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, hey,
sing that shit. You better sing that shit.
VK.
Now she better introduce herself. Don't be singing VK and you don't introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are. Because what if there's some record label who's like, you know what, I liked her voice, but I don't know who she is. Tell the people who you are beforehand. We better hear something else. What else we got?
Hey, how you guys doing? Enjoying the conversation between you two. Just started using the app and been kind of watching the elections. And I'm from Canada, so we're watching very closely here what's unraveling in the U.S. And I just wanted to know, like, when do you guys think that the count's going to be completed? I'm hearing, like at some point this weekend, I'm hearing some news sources saying next week. So I just want to know what your guys' take is on that. Thanks.
I feel like they'll finish the count by next week because they haven't even started counting the military's votes.
Yeah. I was going to say probably Tuesday at the earliest, maybe Thursday at the latest. The reason why is because with all the lawsuits and everything that's going on, like, you don't know exactly when it's going to finish. You know for a fact when it's like determined. We know for a fact when that number comes in and he's at like 273 because he's at 253 now. We know for a fact that's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Pretty much we hope for next week, but this could be extended honestly until I think they said the latest is like, what is it, December 12th? Because of all the law. Yeah. It's going to happen because think about it. The inauguration is January 20th and you have to have 4 weeks between that. So the latest it has to be December 12th. So what's the next voicemail? Who are you? But the thing is, you don't appreciate us and you don't.
Yay!
Oh.
Yay! Play that thing back.
Exactly.
One thing that really actually triggers me is that when like privileged white people are like, oh, black lives don't matter, when like they really do. And like the only reason why they don't like they're like, oh, black lives don't matter because they don't have to go through the pain of being discriminated just because of their skin color, and it's really fucked up.
Adam gets it.
Think about
it.
The same people who say shit like Black lives don't matter or all lives matter, they depend on black people to do the things that they're too fucking lazy to do. There are white people, and I don't want to just make this all white people. I'm going to say some. There are some white people, politicians. We live in the DC area, so we've seen that. Well, I live in the DC area, so it's more so I've seen, not just black. When I say black, I mean brown as well. Native American, Hispanic, Latino, Latinx. Like there are brown and black people who literally engage in like white people in order to make sure that their livelihoods are good, just to make a living for themselves. So I've seen black nannies. I've seen Latinx nannies. I've seen Hispanic nannies. And the wives of those white men, they can't cook a fucking lick. But you know who can? That nanny.
Right.
There are literally movies where the nanny and the child have a bond that the kid and the parent don't have. That's why we have so many slavery movies. We have so many slavery movies where they're like, we have to let people know what slavery used to be like. Think about it. Newsflash. We know this shit. We don't need we needed the Harriet Tubman movement. We didn't need, all the slave movies, all the top, like a lot of the stupid shit we see. We've already known these things. These were in our textbooks. But the thing is, our textbooks replaced slavery with shit like 9/11, like the Oklahoma City bombing. And the reason why they're doing it is because they're taking the trauma that was already there and replacing it with more trauma to make everything else seem like it's better than. You know what's not better than? Being hung from a fucking tree. Being, put in front of your family as like the biggest person in your family and being ripped from limb to limb because they wanted to make an example out of you. You know what's really fucked up is to know, like, honestly, and I keep harping on like this black woman situation, but it's more so it's like, like, Black women to this day just don't make enough money. There are white women that I work with, and I'm like, I know for a fact you don't do your job. I know she do her job. She do your job. That's why she's here. And you make more than her. And that's not to say that white women don't do the things they do. White men don't do the things they do. But the thing is, when it comes to just white men, they don't acknowledge that they fucked up, and they have consecutively for years fucked up.
There's no ability. But at the same sense, there's no white person or Asian person or anyone that comes from a higher class that can be in a store shopping, minding their business, and have another race come up to you and demand for you to tell them where the sheets are, demand for you to tell them how can they order something. They don't ask you, hey, excuse me, do you work here? They don't ask you, excuse me, could you possibly help me with something? They automatically fucking assume that because your skin is black, that you must be here to serve me. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to demand for you to tell me where something is. It happens to me all the fucking time.
Exactly. I've seen this, and I don't want to be disrespectful to women of, any color, any creed, but I have seen white men go and treat their Asian American, the Japanese, their Chinese wives that they marry, because the reason why they treat them like shit is because they know for a fact that they can't handle white women who are progressive. They can't handle black women that have been progressive. So like, you know what? We're going to get an Asian woman because they are submissive. They are what we wanted out of the white women. But the thing is, they think the white women, they want black guys. They want the black cock. They want the black dick. They just want that. And the thing is, it's not even the black. It's not. Here's the thing. Like, as someone who's in an interracial like marriage, it's not even about the dick. It's never been about the dick. They just don't fuck with y'all. They know you ain't. Think about it. They were born from a white father. They were born from a white mother. They know historically y'all ain't shit. They want to change the dynamic. More importantly, they don't want to be seen in the same light as you. That's why they do the things that they do. They say the things that they say. That's why you see the pussy hat marches and the things like that. But trust me, I can go on for hours. What's this next voicemail? We got too many.
Speak the truth.
What's up? For sure.
Yo, I just heard you apologize. I don't know why you apologized, but I'm just happy that I happened to come upon your rant when I did. Because the only thing you spitting right now is facts, B.
Silent as, for sure.
Thank you, man.
Never apologize. Never apologize for the passion that you feel for all this. No, it's something that needs to be seen, something that needs to be heard, and it's something that needs to be felt. Thanks. So I admire you and don't ever apologize for that. I agree with you 100%.
Preach.
Shout out to you, Rose.
Bro, what's up, bro? I'm black and I'm proud. I'm actually black. What's up, bro? Black Nation alert.
Man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
I love it.
Bro, what? Black and I'm proud.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so sorry that you guys had to put up with the disrespect that these people are dishing out. You guys are talking about real stuff, and more power to you, but I'm loving this talk. I just got on here about like 5 minutes ago, but yeah.
Thank you for listening.
I agree with you. Hey, Greg. If that's if I'm saying that right. Sorry. But anyway, I agree.
You're cool.
You said it right. Hey, Greg.
We're supposed to be talking about stereo. We sit here, we're talking race, and we shouldn't be. But we're gonna get back. We're gonna get back. I promise.
But again, I like the fact that a pro for stereo is the discussion always evolves into something else that needs to be discussed. So I do like that food. Like,
exactly.
You Americans are so funny. I promise you.
I had to block him because I already knew where we were going. Now, I don't want to say what he was going to say, but he said, "You Americans are so funny," and I'm not even. Here's the thing: it's just disrespectful. So instead of being disrespectful, be respectful. Be respectful or be blocked, because there are people that are not just her and I, Shannon and I, that are on here. Be respectful to white people. Be respectful to black people. More importantly, be respectful for yourself, because the shit that you say, just like on any other social media app, it can be tracked. So the things that you say right now, it might not affect you today. It might not affect you tomorrow, but in 10 years, you just